Yeah. But I took an oath that I'ma stand up and blaze the truth on any motherfucker. Yeah. Hey, hey, yeah. Bury me a priest. Up at night, I never sleep, contemplating how to set my people free. Bury me a priest. Revolution, I be moving, got the feds, get a virus in these streets. Nigga, bury me a priest. Restoring honor to my dad's name, he died before he ever got to see you. Bury me a priest. If it's ever rest in peace, tell my kids that it died on his feet. Bury me a priest. So cold-blooded, but the hoes love it. Posted with the low stugging. In 15, I got caught up at the wrong spot. The cop tried to whoop me till my nose blooded. Now I'm fighting back. Suit up all my niggas in that black. Troopers with them killers in the cat. Catch me on the corner going hard with them motherfucking facts. Blaze on your bitch ass. Drop the truth for change, then I get cash. Bring it to the table, then we split that. It's that nation building flow to make the dead turn their neck like a whiplash. Now bury me a priest. Up at night, I never sleep, contemplating how to set my people free. Bury me a priest. Revolution, I be moving, got the feds, get a virus in these streets. Nigga, bury me a priest. Restoring honor to my dad's name, he died before he ever got to see you. Bury me a priest. If it's ever rest in peace, tell my kids that it died on his feet. Bury me a priest. I'm from the South and knew a trail up in Cardell. Met a nigga by the name of Cardell. The really ain't his real name, he put me on the work from the cartel. The bitch ain't a snitch, never snitch. Then I hit my brother up, I got a lick. This right before the truth, that shit legit. We can ship it by the truck loaded. Powder in the summer, we gon' hit, nigga. Yeah. About to be the man on they bitch ass. Got green plus his hands on they bitch ass. Pop a rubber band on the bitch ass. The fuck a nigga saying I don't kick cash. Let's slow the car down while I ride down the I-95, thinking about my daughter's eyes on some real shit. My partner caught a case, faced the time. What the fuck is going through a nigga's mind on some real shit? My daddy passed away while I was crying, but my pride won't let me keep crying on some real shit. Something gotta give, shit. Cause somebody gotta make it out these streets. To bury me a priest. Up at night, I never sleep, contemplating how to set my people free. Bury me a priest. Revolution, I be moving, got the feds, get a virus in these streets. Nigga, bury me a priest. Restoring honor to my dad's name, he died before he ever got to see you. Bury me a priest. If it's ever rest in peace, tell my kids that it died on his feet. Bury me a priest.
Shalom, Israel. Yabashim Yoshai brought a thumb to the brothers. Yashamal thumb Bashim Yoshai to the sisters. All right. Priest Officer Parak. To my right is Priest and Officer Razan. We own down the Sabbath service for the ISUPK out of Arizona. All right. As always, if you look at the bottom of the very bottom of the screen, you can see our class location. All right, 12416 North 28 Drive. That's of course Phoenix, Arizona. We're in suite number 4. All right. So today, we're going to jump on into it. We're going to be going over Ezekiel, the 20th chapter. Today, we pretty much going to be going over the significance of the Sabbath. All right, the significance or the importance of the Sabbath. Get some understanding on what the Sabbath is. See, a lot of people don't really understand. If Christians really understood and believed in the Most High, right, they would care a lot more about keeping the Sabbath, right? We're going to get a little bit of history, too, because we all understand that Sunday is the holy day for Christians, right? Right? So we understand that. We understand that for Christians, the holy day, the sanctified day by the Most High is Sunday. We're going to get the history on where that comes from, right? People really got to understand how to put emphasis on the Sabbath, just like the Most High puts emphasis on the Sabbath. He wouldn't talk about it so much in these scriptures. You wouldn't find the word Sabbath in here hundreds of times if it wasn't something that the Most High gave a damn about, right? And what the problem is so many people decided they're going to throw the Sabbath away. Well, what we're going to do today is we're going to go into the Sabbath and figure out what it is, where it comes from, why the Most High has us keep the Sabbath, and also who changed the Sabbath. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. All right. With that, mid up here, Imagine. Should we stand? Get it on the blow.
Right. Imagine. Wapanya Hakodan. You turn, stand and face the east. All right. Get into the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabashimaya.
Shabashimaya.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Haya.
Haya.
Shunka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakwaka.
Malakwaka.
Taba'a.
Taba'a.
Tazaka.
Tazaka.
Haya.
Haya.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Barataza.
Barataza.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Haya.
Haya.
Mashimaya.
Mashimaya.
Nathaniel.
Nathaniel.
Lakam.
Lakam.
Call.
Call.
Wayam.
Yawan.
Wasalakinawa.
Wasalakinawa.
Kabawatinawa.
Kawatnawa.
Kasalakinawa.
Kasalakinawa.
Kabawat. Kabawat Yaninawa.
Kawatnawa.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Tabaya.
Tabaya.
Ayana.
Anawa.
Ayanawa. It's like Banasaya 1.
Banasai 1.
Abal.
Abal.
Hawashayanawa.
Hawashayanawa.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Rai.
Rai.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Hamalakwa.
Hamalagwa.
Waha'ala.
Wa'ala.
Wata Parath.
Wata Parath.
It's like La'awalanyum.
La'awalanyum.
Aman.
Aman. The Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh, thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done in earth.
Thy will be done in earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day.
Our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts.
Forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation.
Lead us not into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it. All right, get the Hakat, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh Hashem.
Yahweh Hashem.
It's like it. Flip that over. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bashem Yahushai.
Bashem Yahushai.
Baba Kasha.
Baba Kasha.
Nathaniel.
Nathaniel.
Hakat.
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 Larapa'a.
Larapa'a.
Call.
Call.
Makala.
Maka'ala.
Makala. It's like Wakal.
Wakal.
Madawa.
Madawa.
Hakat.
Hakat.
Latahar.
Latahar.
Hamatazarium.
Hamatazarium.
Hakat.
Hakat.
La Quanyam.
La Quanyam.
Hamathium.
Hamathium.
Hakat.
Hakat.
Al. Rakar Wath.
Rakar Wath.
Hatama Allah.
Hatama Allah.
Lagarashan.
Lagarashan.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Thawad Aman.
Thawad Aman. The Hakat, the power in English. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushai.
In the name of Yahushai.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal all manner of sickness.
Power to heal all manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of Yahushai.
In the name of Yahushai.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it. Right, get Psalms 121 in Hebrew. Asha'ah.
Asha'ah.
Ayanya.
Ayanya.
Haharyam.
Haharyam.
Ma'ayam.
Ma'ayam.
Yaba'ah.
Yaba'ah.
Isaiah.
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 Ma'ayin.
Ma'ayin.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Shemayim.
Shemayim.
Wa'aratazah.
Wa'aratazah.
Ayathan.
Ayathan.
Lamawat.
Lamawat.
Regalka.
Regalka.
Yanawam.
Yanawam.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Hana.
Hana.
La'a.
La'a.
Yanawam.
Yanawam.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yayashan.
Yayashan.
Shomar.
Shomar.
Yashrala.
Yashrala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Tazalka.
Tazalka.
Al-Yad.
Al-Yad.
Yanika.
Yanika.
Yawamam.
Yawamam.
Hashamash.
Hashamash.
La'a.
La'a.
Lakaka.
Lakaka.
Wayarak.
Wayarak.
Bala,
Bala,
Yala,
Yala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamarka,
Yashamarka,
Makar Ra,
Makal Ra,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Ak,
Av,
Napashka,
Napashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Tada Afka,
Tazaavka,
Baba Waka, it's like Waba,
Waba,
Waka,
Waka,
Ma'aita,
Ma'aitha,
Wa'ai,
Wa'ai,
I will
Awalam. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 121 in the English. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills.
I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh,
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Yasharallah
he that keepeth Yasharallah
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee, preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in,
from this time forth
from this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore. All right, this Psalms 183 in the Hebrew. Alahayim,
Alahayim,
All, Damaya,
Damaya,
Laka,
Laka,
All, Takarash,
Takarash,
Wa'al,
Wa'al,
Dashakwat,
Dashakwat,
All, Kaya,
Kaya,
Hana,
Hana,
Awayabka.
Awayagnika,
Yahama, it's like Yahama,
Yama,
Yawan,
Yawan,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
Imaka,
Imaka,
Ya, it's like Yairolam. It's like Yaira,
Yaira,
Yakan, it's like Yamwa,
Yamwa,
Sawada,
Sawada,
Wayata,
Wayata,
Yaitazawa,
Yaitazawa,
All, Tazapawanyika,
Tazapawanyika,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Lakawa,
Lakawa,
Wanakakidan,
Wanakakidam,
Magalia,
Magalia.
Wa'ala,
Do that one more time.
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yazakar,
Yazakar,
Shram Yashrala,
Sham Yasharala,
Iwada,
Awada,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Nawaitazawa,
Nawaitazawa,
Laba,
Laba,
Lakawa,
Lakagwa,
Ayaka,
Auyuka,
Barya,
Barya,
Yakarathwa,
Yakarakwa,
Ahaya,
Ahaya,
Adawan,
Adawan,
Washama Island,
Wayashama Ali. It's like,
Wayashama Island.
Wayashama Ali.
Oh, it's like Wayashama Alayam,
Wayashama Ali.
Mawa'aba,
Mawa'aba,
Wahagarian,
Wahagari,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Wa'aimawan,
Waimawan,
Wa'aimalak,
Waimalak,
Palashat,
Palasha,
Ain,
Aim,
Labunya,
Labanya,
Lawak.
Lawat,
It's like, go back. I'm Yashabia,
Anishabya,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gam,
Gam,
Ashawar,
Ashawar,
Nalawa,
Nalawa,
Imam,
Imam,
Hayawa,
Ayawa,
Zarawai,
Zarwai,
Labunya,
Labanya,
Lawak,
Lawat,
Salah,
Salah,
Asha,
Asha,
Laham,
Laham,
Kamadian,
Kamadyan,
Kasaya,
Kasaya,
Sara'ah,
Sara'ah,
Kayabyam,
Kayabi,
Banakal,
Manakal,
Koyashwan,
Koyashwan,
Nashamadwa,
Nashamagwa,
Ba'ayan,
Bayan,
Da'ara,
Dara,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
It's like Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Hayawa. It's like Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Daman,
Daman,
Adama,
La
That's like Shayatamwa,
Shayatamwa,
Nada,
Da,
Yamawa,
Yamawa,
Ka'ira,
Kaira,
because of Abba,
Ukazaba,
Ukazabak.
Ukazabak.
Ukatazal.
Ukatazal.
Mana'ai.
Mana'ai.
Call.
Call.
Nasai Kamwa.
Messiah Kamwa.
Nasai Kamwa. Ashar.
Ashar.
Amarwa.
Amarwa.
Nawayash. That's like Nayara.
Nayara.
Shah.
Shah.
Nanawa.
Nanawa. Ah.
Na'awa.
Na'awa.
Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Alhaya.
Alahaya.
Sayak Tamwa.
Sayak Tamwa.
Kagagala.
Kagagala.
Kakwash.
Kakwash.
Lapanya.
Lapanya.
Baraka.
Waka.
Kaash.
Kaash.
Tabaira.
Tabaira.
Yaira.
Yaira.
Wakala.
Wakala.
Haba.
Haba.
Talahat.
Talahat.
Harayam.
Harayam.
Khan.
Khan.
Taradakma.
Taradakma.
Basa Irika.
Basa Irika.
Babasa.
Babasa.
Wapatka.
Wapatka.
Tabahalam.
Tabalam.
Mala'ah.
Mala'ah.
Panyaham.
Panyaham.
Kwawalam.
Kwawalam.
Waya.
Waya.
Bakashwa.
Bakwashwa.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Baba Yabashwa.
Yabashwa.
Waya.
Waya.
Bahawa.
Bahawa.
Adiyai.
Adiyai.
Waya.
Waya.
Kaparwa.
Kaparwa.
Waya.
Waya.
Abadwa.
Abadwa.
Waya. Da'awai.
Da'awai.
Kaya.
Kaya.
At.
At.
Ata.
Ata.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Labaka.
Labaka.
Alawam.
Alawam.
Al-Kaha. Al-Kaha. Arataza.
Alcohol.
Al-Kah.
Alcohol.
Ha-Arataza.
Arataza. That's alcohol is overall. Ha-Arataza is the earth. So overall the earth, just like that. Right? No sweat. You're doing good. Psalms 83rd chapter in the English. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still,
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Thine enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
Come,
and let us cut them off from being a nation.
let us cut them off from being a nation.
That the name of Yasha'Allah
And the name of Yahshua
may be no more in remembrance.
may be no more remembrance.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
Of Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes.
Gebal.
Gebal.
And Ammon.
And Ammon.
And Amalek.
And Amalek.
The Philistines.
The Philistines.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also is joined with them.
Assur also is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of Kasan.
At the brook of Kasan.
Which perished that endured.
Which perished that endured.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a rare.
Make their nobles like a red.
And like Ze'eb.
And like Ze'eb.
Yea. All their princes as Zabah.
All their princes as Zabah.
And as Amunah.
And as Amunah.
Who said,
Let
us take to ourselves.
Let us take to ourselves
the houses of Yahweh.
The houses of Yahweh.
In possession.
In possession.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the fire burneth the wood.
As the fire burneth the wood.
And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
And as the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Yea.
Let
them be put to shame and perish.
Let them be put to shame and perish.
That men may know that thou.
That men may know that thou.
Whose name alone.
Is
Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Are the most high over all the earth.
Are the most high over all the earth. All right, get the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Why Yahweh Shai.
Why Yahweh Shai.
Wamayaka Allah.
Why Mayaka Allah.
Wa'alayim.
It's like
Wa'alayim. Matazab ya.
Matazab ya.
Alawap Yohana.
Alawab Yohana.
Alawap you.
Alawab you.
Hasaran you.
Hasaranyu.
Hakwatazayan.
Hakwatazayanyu.
Hakayayan you.
Wakayayu.
Wahawak you. Agwathin.
Wahagwatyu.
Yahabashim.
Yahweh
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Duarama.
In English? Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahushai.
And Yahushai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yohana.
Commanding General Yohana.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captain.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushai.
In the name of Yahushai.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it.
All right, sorry, while you're shopping, you can be seated. All right, so once again, like I said, we're going to be in Ezekiel, the 20th chapter. Excuse me. Y'all ever had one of those sneezes that just sneak up on you and then they go away? Come on, man. That's like the most opposite of a satisfying feeling that you could get. And then the sneeze just rush up into your eyes, and then now you got, anyway, Salakia.
Or just fades away.
Con, yeah, just goddamn, man. Let me get that thing out, man.
We talking about like, and then it's like,
hey man, I probably was looking wild on the camera because I'm like, hold on, staring off into the distance, waiting for a sneeze. All right, let's get it. So we're gonna get Ezekiel the 20th chapter. We're gonna start at the 7th verse. All right, so we're gonna read verses 7 through 13. Beginning with, of course, the Hebrew. So we'll read those 7 verses in the Hebrew, and then we'll read it in the English. All right.
Okay. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 20, verse 7 in the Hebrew. Wa Amar, Alaham, Ayash, Shakwa,
Shakawatazaya.
Shakawatazaya, Ayanya Wa. Hasha Yakawa Abagar Waya Matazarian
The Tamawa.
The Tamawa Anya Yahweh Alhamdulillah.
Allah, how you come?
It's like Allah, how you come?
Mm-hmm.
It's like verse 8. Wayamar. It's like Wayamar why? It's like Wayamar why? Baya. Wa'ah. Let me say Wala'ah. Abawa. La Shamai. Alayam.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ayash. Shakwa Taza. Shakawa Tazaya. Ayanya Yaham. Hakam Hashalah Yakam. That's like it's like it.
Hashal Yakawa.
Hashal Yakawa. Wa'ata. So Wa'at. Good. Galawa'ah. Yeah. Matazarian. Azabwa, wa Amar, Lashapak, was it Yashapka?
Salaki. The one that you just said, Lashapak? Yeah, that's what it is.
Lashapak. Kamathia. All your hum. It's like Lakawath. Hawath. I paya. Baham. Bata. Batawaka. Bathwaka. Ratazarium. Verse 9. Wa'ayim. Wa'aisha. Wa'aisha.
Lama'ain.
I had this shit last night. Lama'ain. Shamya. Labar. Labataya. Hakar. Or La'ayanya. Hagwam Yam. Ashar. Hama. Bata. Bathwakam. Ashar. Baiwa. Looks like Nawa Die. Taya. Ayaham. La'ay Yanyaka. It's like La'ay Yanya Ham. Laha. Getting problems last night.
Lahawatazayam.
Lawahatazayam. Ma'arataza. Matazarium. Verse 10. Right. Wa'awat Tazayam. Tazayam. Ma'arataza. Matazarium. Wa'abah. Wa'abiam. Wa'abiam. Hamadabar. Verse 11. Wa'atan. Laham. At. Kawataya.
Salaki. That's kakwa. So you can kakwa with salaki. Quack. That's a tongue twister. But it's kakwawath yum. Salaki. Kakwawath yum. That's how you would say that one.
Yeah.
That's like salaki. Kakakwath yeah. Salaki.
Kakawath. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that's a tongue twister.
That was tripping me up last night trying to read it. Wa'akwath ya. Wa'ath. Mashapat ya. Hawa the item ya. The I Taya. Awatiyam. Sorry. Awatam. Ashar. Waya Ashar. Awatam. the Adam, the Wakaya,
Yeah, the last word, Salaki. The last word is Ha Adam.
it's like Ha Adam,
Yeah,
Wakaya,
Wakaya.
Baham, verse 12. We're gone. So we're gone. At Baba Wathya. Nataya. Laham. Laha Yawath. La'awat. Bayanya. Bayan. Bayanya. Baba Bayan Jaham. La Da'aitha. It's like La Adaitha. Kaya. Anya. Yahweh. Maquad Shum.
Makodashma.
Makodashma.
Yeah.
Verse 13. Waya Marwa. Bayat. Yashralim. Bama Debar. Bakwa Baka Kawathya. La'am. Hakawa. So like Lakawa. Wa'ath. Masha Patya. Ma'ai. Ma'apat. What? Ma'apat what? That's like Ma'asawa.
Yeah, I just had to catch up with you, Salaki, but yeah, that's fine. Ma'aswa.
Ma'aswa. Bashar. Ya'ai. Bashar. Adam. Adam. Wakaya. Baha. Wa'ath. Shabbat Taya. Kakawa. Kalawa. Ma'ad. Ma'adah.
Ma'at. Wa'amar.
Lashapat. Kamathia. Ayaham. Bamadabar. Lakal what? It's like call what them?
All right. So that was verses 7 through 13. All right. So we're gonna read those same 7 verses in the English. We'll break it on down. All right. Once again, so I mean we're gonna get through these 7 verses pretty quick, but I got a lot of precepts and some history that we want to get to pertaining to Sabbath, right? So just keep that in mind when we read this, all right? Excuse me. All right, so we're going to be in Ezekiel, the 20th chapter, beginning in verse 7.
Okay. Book of Ezekiel, chapter 20, verse 7 in English. Then I said unto them, cast ye away every man the abominations of his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Defile not yourselves with the idols of Egypt.
So now let's read up so we can understand what this is talking about, because it says, "Then I said unto them," or "Then said I unto them." So it's obviously this is a continuation of something else. So I want to read up just a little bit. All right, give me verse 3.
Verse 3. Son of man, speak unto the elders of Israel, and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, Are ye come to inquire of me? As I live, saith the Lord God, I would not be inquired of by you.
So now this, of course, is something that you see all the time throughout the Bible, right? Especially in the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel, the Most High revealed, like every prophet has a specific type of prophecy or dealings with the Most High, right? Ezekiel's main thing was dealing with the false prophets. The false prophets, the elders of Israel that were, of course, just like they are today, right? Your Jesse Jacksons and your Al Sharptons, they snakes. And that was the main thing that Ezekiel was dealing with, right? Isaiah dealt more so with like end time prophecy when it came to, like end time prophecy, right? Jeremiah more so as well. But all of these prophets, like Daniel, of course, had like the most ridiculous visions. Y'all understand that Daniel had very vivid visions of end time prophecy concerning the nations, right? And which nations would be involved in that end time prophecy or in the time, right? But Ezekiel was given a lot of prophecy regarding these false prophets, false teachers, pastors and things like that, right? So now the Most High is saying to Ezekiel to tell the elders of Israel, I'm not going to be inquired of you. Don't come trying to inquire of me, right? Thus saith the Lord, right? And we're going to see why. Keep going.
Okay. Verse 4. Wilt thou judge them, son of man? Wilt thou judge them? Because them to know the abominations of their fathers.
Right, cause them to know. So now this is the Most High speaking once again to Ezekiel, and he's saying, will you judge them, son of man? Will you judge them? Cause them to know the abominations of their fathers. And this is what we've all been called to do. If you're going to be a priest in the nation of Israel, this is what you must do in a time like we living in today. You have to cause our people, you have to let our people know the abominations of our fathers. What's the abominations of our fathers? It's going to go into it, right? Why do you think that we consistently talk about the sins of our forefathers?
So we can stop and get it right.
So we can stop and get it right. This is a worldly saying, but it really, you can apply it to your life. You can't know where you're going until you know where you came from. Ain't that right?
Okay.
You can't know where you can't. In order for you to stop making the same mistakes that your forefathers made, you're going to have to know the mistakes that they made. That's wisdom. And you can either get wisdom the hard way or the easy way. The hard way is having to go through your entire life messing up. You understand? Making all of the mistakes yourself. Or you can just learn from us the sins of your forefathers so you never have to do those things. So you never have to go through those things. And so you can be taught the type of lesson that your forefathers were taught in an evil way. You can be taught that same lesson in a righteous way, because your forefathers were taught that lesson in the evil way by the Most High. Because why? Because they were killed by the Most High. They got put to death by the Most High. You understand that? But you can just, you can learn the easy way. Come into this school and you can learn from us, and we can show you how Aaron made that golden calf and what the Most High did to him for that. We can see, oh man, listen, there's so many stories. I don't even want to get off into it because we got to keep reading. But there's so many stories in this Bible to tell us. I mean, we can look at how the Most High dealt with Solomon, how the Most High dealt with David for their iniquity. You understand? So we have to look at those things. That's why the scriptures say the things that were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Right.
Go ahead.
I can, like, what's another worldly saying, but it's like it's on top and it stays true. Like they say, a smart man learns from his mistakes.
Yeah.
But a wise man learns from the mistake of others.
Yeah. Right.
So,
why should you have to go through those things? Why should you have to go through it? If somebody already went through it, that's like the lab rat. You understand? He the one that's gonna go through all of those things so you can see what you got to do.
Right.
And that's what you got to do, man. So that's why it's so important for a priest or a prophet or a man of God to teach his people the abominations of your fathers, the abominations of your forefathers. Keep going.
Okay. Verse 5. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord God.
Now we about to see something real important, and this is the Most High does this a lot because he's a father and he loves his children, and he repeats himself a whole lot. He has a lot more patience than I do, because the Most High is not a man like me or you. Keep going.
Okay. In the day when I chose Israel and lifted up mine hand unto the seed of the house of Jacob, and made myself known unto them in the land of Egypt.
Where?
In the land of Egypt.
I just want everybody to understand something. The Most High first made himself known unto the children of Israel in the land of Egypt. That's where he made himself known. You got to understand that the Most High was dealing with Abraham, yes. The Most High was dealing with Isaac, yes. The Most High was dealing with Jacob, yes. The 12 tribes of Israel, you got to understand, Joseph got sold into slavery and went to Egypt. And then by divine design, all of the other 11 tribes ended up having to come into Egypt because of a famine. You understand? That was divine design. That was the Most High orchestrating that. And they all ended up in Egypt, and they all became slaves in Egypt, right? And the Most High first made himself known to the children of Israel when? In Egypt, but when?
In the plagues.
With the plagues, right? The Most High showed the hell out. The Most High showed out with them plagues, and he made himself known unto us. When it says he made himself known unto us, we all understood. Jacob was our father. The 12 tribes knew that, of course, Jacob was their father, so they knew about the Most High, but they didn't know about the Most High. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't understand the Most High's reputation, so the Most High had to make his reputation clear. He had to make who he was clear, and the way that he did that was by destroying Egypt. You understand, like you got to think about it like this. Like, you must not know me. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it like that. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about now, right?
It's like when you heard stories about other people until you actually, see them in the reputation of close.
Exactly. You know what I'm
like,
saying? You must not know me. And that's exactly what the Most High did. So the Most High, he made himself known to the children of Israel, right? Let's keep reading, right? Go ahead, end of verse 5.
End of verse 5. When I lifted up mine hand unto them, saying, I am the Lord your God. Verse 6. In the day that I lifted up mine hand unto them to bring them forth of the land of Egypt into a land that I had spied for them, flowing with milk and honey.
So one thing real quick, the sister said, Salaki, Most High said you're going to learn today. And that's damn right. You're right. You understand me? You're right. That's written. You got to understand, that's the way the Most High work. Don't the scriptures say that? Like, man, listen, the scriptures talk about the Most High showing out. The scriptures say in Romans the 9th chapter that the Most High built up Pharaoh just so he could tear him down, just so he could destroy him. He's flexing on brothers, man. He letting brothers understand, but really, it's not that he flexing. That's kind of the carnal way to think about it. But really, in all actuality, what he's doing is he's showing you his power. I mean, what better way to show somebody your power? You know, I don't know. I don't know a better way. But then, so of course, so we say, it's like we see in here in the 6th verse, it says, in the day that I lifted up mine hand unto them to bring them forth of the land of Egypt into a land that I had espied for them. The Most High sought out Israel for us. He found a place, it says, flowing with milk and honey, which is the glory of all lands. That land of Israel, the Most High picked that land for us for a reason. He didn't pick America for us. I know a lot of y'all like me too. I like the way California's scenery looks. I like the way when we go into the Midwest, you see all that green and stuff like that. I like the way all of that looks, right? But this is not our land. This is not our rest. The land that the Most High picked out for us is a land that's flowing with milk and honey, and that's Israel. That's the Middle East. You understand? And that's our homeland. So the Most High picked that place for us, right? Keep going. Now we're gonna get back to where we was just at, right? So I wanted everybody to understand that, right? Because context means everything when you read this Bible. You know, Christian pastors read one verse and then have a sermon for 2 hours, but we don't do that in here, right? Go ahead.
Okay. Book of Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 7. Then I said unto them, cast ye away every man the abominations of his eyes.
So now, after he took us out of the land of Egypt, which is, I mean, you got to understand, that's Egypt is like unto America. You know that there was police brutality in Egypt, right?
Okay.
And you know Moses killed that cat. You understand? Right? So the same thing that was happening in Egypt is the same thing that's happening today. So now imagine a most high God, a power, bringing you out of this captivity, saving you from the police brutality, saving you from white people that hate you. And now he tells you, put away all the abominations of your eyes. That Christianity, I know you learned that Christianity in America. I know you learned about that and y'all worship the cross and all of these things. Right. Stop now. Now's the time to stop. Wouldn't you think that you should serve that God and say, yeah, well, whatever the hell you say, you just brought me out of this place that I was getting killed in, that all my brothers and sisters was dying in. You know what I'm saying? That these people was giving my people crack and guns and we was killing each other. Yeah, absolutely. I'll do whatever you say. Wouldn't you think that? Well, the Most High did the same thing for the children of Israel when they exited Egypt, right? When the Most High delivered them out of Egypt, right? And he just told them, put all of those abominations, because you gotta understand, we was in Egypt for the same amount of time that we've been in America. So we was in Egypt for 430 years. 430 years of learning all of the ways of the Egyptians. I'm gonna get you in 1 second. All of the ways of the Egyptians. Y'all understand why Aaron built a golden calf? Why?
Because he learned it from the damn Egyptians.
Because that's an Egyptian god. That's one of the many Egyptian gods. He built the golden calf because he learned it.
They was that time that we've been in America right now. They guaranteed those brothers in there that were, you know, highly what's one look for? Distraught that they had to leave their so-called home.
Absolutely.
In Egypt.
Absolutely.
And be out in that desert, you know, like it's a scene that they were already, like, Moses was up there for a month, for a little bit. They're already crying and whining after, you know, seeing the plagues.
Right.
Seeing the Red Sea be split.
Right.
And you still want to cry and whine. You're like, man, let's just go back to Egypt then.
Yeah, you know, niggas don't care about that, man. You got to understand, like, once again, like you said, if there was an exodus out of America, which there will be one day. Y'all understand that, right?
Yeah.
Listen, the only difference between Egypt and America is the fact that the Most High is only going to take the willing servants of the Most High out of America. And those people and those Israelites that decided they want to be with America, they'll just be destroyed in America with that lake of fire. Yeah. In Egypt, the Most High took everybody. He took everybody, every person that put that blood up on that doorpost. You understand? And even then, I mean, really, that was the Most High sifting out his, you know, he was trying to get his servants because only the ones that believed in the Most High was going to put that blood on their doorpost. You understand? But the difference is, like I said, between then and now is, then anybody could just put a goddamn, you know, put some blood on the doorpost, whatever. Yeah, whatever. They say something's happening. I guess I'm going to try and do something about it. But here you have to actually be sincere. The Most High is going to try your heart. So you can do all of the works of the law and all of that. But if you don't have the spirit of the Most High on you, you're going to get left here. That's why the scriptures say in the book of Matthew, it's going to be brothers and sisters that say, didn't we do all of this in your name? Didn't we prophesy and heal the sick and all of this in your name? And he's going to be like, I don't know who the hell you are. Get away from me. Imagine that. So now, but let's get back into it, right? So keep reading so we can understand a little bit more of what we're talking about.
The middle of verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
And defile not yourselves with the idols of Egypt.
And that's what, and the Most High told us. He warned us not to defile ourselves with the idols of Egypt. Go ahead.
I am the Lord your God.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Verse 8. But they rebelled against me and would not hearken unto me.
So listen, the Most High told us all of these things and we still didn't listen. Y'all got it now through the remainder of this. Keep America in your head. Keep this captivity that we're in. Keep it in your head and see that it's think about, put yourself in the shoes of a nation that's been delivered out of the worst captivity that you've ever experienced, right? And you still rebel against the Most High. Keep your mind on that. Right?
idols of Egypt.
You want to break anything down? Go ahead. You can keep reading.
Neither did they forsake the idols of Egypt. Then I said, I will pour out my fury upon them to accomplish my anger against them in the midst of the land of Egypt.
So the Most High said what? He's going to do what?
Like,
He said he's going to pour out what?
I'll pour out my fury upon them to accomplish my anger against them.
So now the Most High, because we didn't put away those idols, and we understand that. We can go into the book of Exodus and read, many a time when we complained against the Most High, still wanted to keep those same idols, all of those things, right? The Most High said that he was going to pour out his fury upon the children of Israel because we didn't want to cast away those idols. That's what we're dealing with today. The fury is what we're living in today, right now, as Black people in America, Hispanics in America, and all across, of course, the four corners of the earth, right? Everywhere we go, we're oppressed. And the only way that we can not be oppressed, or I won't even say not be oppressed, the only way we can get a little bit of peace is if we sin against the Most High. And then it doubles, just like that. You understand that?
Awesome.
Listen, getting high is what you think is safe. A bad day, the first thing you looking towards is that blunt, man. You have it, and it helps you throughout the entire day, because throughout the entire day, you get, you having a bad day, but you thinking, man, when I get home, I'm just that blunt that I'm gonna smoke is gonna cure my ailment. You understand? But you get home and you smoke that blunt, and you sin against the Most High, and you don't deal with any of the oppression that you like. You numb yourself. That's what getting high does for you. What ends up happening is you destroy yourself even further than somebody who's not getting high and just faces that oppression head on.
Okay.
Go ahead. You gonna say something?
Yeah, I was, when I was, doing security, I had a coworker,
Smoking weed is gay, by the way, for anybody that's listening. Salaki. I just want everybody to understand that. Smoking weed is gay. Tell all your friends. Tell all your friends that smoking weed is homosexual. But go ahead, Salaki.
Yeah, I had a coworker, she would tell me, like, how do you how do you go through your day? How do you deal with the bad things? Like, you don't smoke, I need that to help me out with everything. And I was like, told her, you got a crutch.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
You weak as hell. That's what you are. You see, you getting high, you weak as hell. You can't deal with reality. Nigga, you're in reality. You're alive. Salaki, I don't mean to cut you off, but that's the truth. You're weak as hell. You can't deal with reality. You got to use a drug to deal with reality.
That's how you are out there.
Go ahead, keep going.
I told her, like, hey, it's best to deal with your problems up front,
Mm-hmm.
You can come with us, get in class. She wasn't feeling that.
No, of course, somebody to get high, they too weak to come in here. You can't come up in here and be weak. So your spirit is not you can't handle this thing, man. It's hard to be in here. Y'all understand that? This ain't an easy thing. This ain't an easy thing to have to be in order. To have somebody that you have to, like, you gotta understand, you have to check in with somebody. And then your pride is gonna tell you, check in with you. What you mean check in with you? I'm my own. What do people always say? I'm my own person. Nigga, if you can't control that demon of getting high, that homosexual demon of getting high, you can't control the demon of your pride, because your pride is going to keep you from the kingdom of heaven. And the only way to get that kingdom of heaven is to, listen, man, you're going to have to come over here and you're going to have to get taught. But the only way that you can get taught properly is you're going to have to fall in order.
The thing about that is, like, a lot of times those brothers that talk about I'm my own person, I don't check with anybody, but those same brothers that'll be checking in with their woman every single night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you check in with your woman. You know what I'm saying? Sister said, leave them demons at the door. Damn right. You come up in here and leave that pride demon, that homosexual demon of getting high. I don't know. Hey, listen, I'm attacking that demon today. So, like, you are a damn homosexual and you weak as hell if you smoking that weed.
Yeah.
Put the weed down, man.
Same brother, man. Same brother that, they talking about, like, happy wife, happy life, First time I heard that in the Navy, you saw a Navy, and I was like, "What the hell did that even mean?"
Happy wife, happy.
I was
And the
like,
niggas that say that be miserable as hell, ain't that right? Don't they be miserable as hell? They say, well, happy wife, happy life. Whatever she wants, she gets. Nah, nigga, you're miserable. You are absolutely miserable. Let's get back into Let's get back into it. But just still remember that you're gay if you smoke weed. I just want you to understand that. All right, you're gay. All right. And I can prove that in the Bible. But that's not what this class is about. This class is I just want everybody to understand. It's not what this class is about, but you're still gay if you smoke marijuana. All right, let's keep reading. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 9. But I wrought for my name's sake that it should not be polluted before the heathen, among whom they were, in whose sight I made myself known unto them, in bringing them forth out of the land of Egypt.
So what is the Most High talking about? He said, I'm not going to destroy y'all because I understand that in the sight of the heathen, if I destroy you, it's going to look like, well, damn. Most High just, like, remember when Moses had to plead our case, because the Most High was going to kill all of the Israelites because of that golden calf that I just talked about, because of that idolatry. Most High was going to kill all of the Israelites and make a nation out of Moses, right? But Moses had to plead our cause, and he said, well, listen, if you destroy all of the Israelites, the Egyptians and all of the other nations that saw you lead the children of Israel out of captivity are going to believe that you just took them out of Egypt just so you could kill them. And that's what you see the Most High saying here. But I wrought for my name's sake. Why? For his name's sake. The Most High cares about his reputation. You think niggas just get that from nowhere? That's from God. That's the spirit that them put in us. We have, we care about our reputation. We care about our people look and view it. Look at us and view us. And that's an important thing. And your reputation does mean a lot. I want everybody to understand that. Don't let nobody, no Christian, try to sucker you into saying that's pride. No, that's not pride. That's your reputation. The Most High cares about his reputation a great deal. So much so that he bases his decision on what it would do to his reputation. So you should do the same thing. Your reputation means a lot. Imagine you call yourself being in the UPK, and you and listen, and everybody in your apartment complex knows you as a child molester. You know what I'm saying? But you call yourself being in the UPK. You got a bad reputation and you're in here? No, that can't happen. Ask the brothers, and I'm gonna use these brothers for an example for a reason, right? Ask the brothers in Houston and everybody that's around them. Ask what their reputation is. Although everybody hates what we teach, everybody hates that we teach that Jesus Christ is black, that all the other nations won't be saved. They hate that, but they cannot deny that those brothers have the spirit of the Lord on them. Now, why do I say that? Because them brothers went down to that border and fed thousands of Hispanics and Haitians when nobody else would. They hate our doctrine. I was on Clubhouse the other day, and it was some Christian who absolutely hates our doctrine, but loves them brothers because of what they did, and loves the school because really, in all actuality, that's the works of the ISUPK through the Most High, right? Okay. And so their reputation is solid. But imagine having a bunch of brothers in the UPK. Now, I say imagine because this will never happen. You got to use your imagination for this. But imagine a bunch of brothers claiming to be in the UPK, but they all are sex offenders, and everybody knows them for being, lustful bastards. Right. Your reputation means everything, and that's the way that the Most High works. The Most High works the same way. He understands that every decision that he makes, and that's what I understand too. Oh, yeah. Every decision I make is going to fall back on the Most High, because if I say that the Most High is with me and that I serve the Most High, somebody that's watching me and they see me mess up, they're going to think that's going to fall back on the Most High. They're going to think they could do that too. That's why the scripture said that you can be a stumbling block to your brothers by doing things that you shouldn't be doing, right? Keep going. It's like, go ahead. What you was going to say?
Oh, I got to say.
Okay. Right. But that's the point. I just want everybody to understand that. Care about your reputation. Don't be Christian and think that that's prideful. You have to care about your reputation. It means everything, just like the Most High understands, right? I wrought for my name's sake that it should not be polluted before the heathen, among whom they were, right? In whose sight I made myself known unto them and bringing them forth out of the land of Egypt. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 10. Wherefore I caused them to go forth out of the land of Egypt and brought them into the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 11. And I gave them my statutes.
And he did what?
And I gave them my statutes.
So now the Most High, when he brought us out of the land of Egypt, he gave us his statutes and his laws and things like that. I want everybody to understand something. The law was always around from the time of Adam, right? From the time of Adam was taught the dietary law, okay? Adam was taught the dietary law. He was taught what to do, what not to do. He was taught about all of those things, right? He was taught about adultery. How do you think Joseph understood the law of adultery when Pharaoh's wife tried to come at him? He said, I can't sin in having sex with you because you are a married woman. How that of course was passed down from Adam down to Seth, down to Noah, down to, you know what I'm saying, down all the way down that bloodline, right? So the law was orally passed down since the time of Adam. But now, when he took us out of the land of Egypt, he gave us his statutes, and we all understand that means that he wrote them down, or it's like not the Most High wrote them down. He wrote down the 10 Commandments on those tablets, but scribes wrote down all of the commandments that we follow, the dietary law, the feast days, all of those things. The Most High did that when we came out of the land of Egypt, right? Go ahead.
Okay. And showed them my judgments.
And he showed us his judgments. He showed us the punishments for not keeping the law. He showed us that an adulterer, if you are a man and you have sex with another man's wife, you are going to get put to death. That's the judgment for adultery. If you are a woman and you have a husband and you go and have sex with somebody else, you get put to death. That's the judgment. You understand that? So even going down as small to the law of theft, if you steal from a man, you have to repay him 7 times or sevenfold, right? Go ahead.
Okay. Which if a man do, he shall even live in them.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 12.
Just real quick, the sister made a comment, right? Veronica Hernandez. She said, we must walk right so our reputation precedes itself, especially if we have family that are Christians and are watching us make a mistake. So they can throw it in our face. You're not doing right. Why should I? Exactly. We claim to be righteous. We claim that you have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to serve the Most High, right? And if you're Christian and you're not in the truth, and the Most High is not dealing with you. But imagine your family. Now you're under the microscope, because we all understand that when you come into this truth, everybody's looking at you, waiting for you to mess up. They're gonna offer you pork. That's the first. Like I said before, I've heard stories, horror stories of brothers being sitting down at the table, sitting down and eating a tamale. Their mom made tamales, right? And they'll tell them, "Oh, I didn't use the lard, because the lard is like pig fat, right?" Said, "No, I didn't use the lard or anything like that," and she really didn't use the lard. But inside, and so that tells you that this woman knew that her son didn't eat pork, right? So then, but the inside it was carnitas, which is pork. You understand? So the brother had to eat it, and he like, "Nah, this don't taste right. This tastes like pork." And she looked at him and smiled. I said, "God damn, that's one hell of a demon." That's lucky. That wouldn't have. I wouldn't come up against the Lord's servants like that. But point being is, everybody's looking at you to make that type of mistake, to put you, to. Of course, you're not doing right. Why should I? See, it's just pork. It's just food. Yeah. So to trick you into eating pork, so like it, that's a terrible thing, right? Go ahead. You gonna say something?
Or like, I've heard somebody say, so you think that you're like what they usually normally gets Christian, like you're holier than thou.
Holier than thou. That's it. Yeah.
Like I've always hated that saying.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. If I could build on what the officer just said, literally Deuteronomy 7:6, when you always use it, and says, yes, we are damn holier than thou.
Yeah, we are absolutely holier than thou. And we're better than you. And you got to understand, and I'm going to get back to this right quick, but I want everybody to understand something. When you're in the ISUPK, you're better than everybody. Everybody. I'm serious about that. You're better than everybody. The only one person that's better than us is Christ. Okay. Besides that, we are better than everybody. You should walk with that confidence. You should do it. The sisters too, brothers, sisters. If you are in this school, you're better than everybody around you. You're better than the Christian pastor. You're better than the pastor's wife. You're better than the Queen of England. You're better than Joe Biden and Putin and all of them. Right. You're better than all of them. Right. You're better than Quavo and all. What's another rapper? What you call it again? Yeah, Offset. All of them cats, man. You better than all of them, man. Any of these so-called Bible scholars, you're better than all of them. So yeah, we are holier than you. Absolutely. Yeah, we're holier than you. We're better than you. We're more set apart than you are. Go ahead.
And if I can, don't let anybody shame you to think that you're not better than them.
Sure.
Like I know, growing up in America, man, they always tell us like, oh, nobody's better than nobody else. Well, obviously you haven't looked around America.
Yeah.
The white man obviously thinks he's better than you.
Right.
So
right. You 3/5 of a man to him.
That's still in the books. By the way, so if you're wondering why, just going off a little bit, but you're wondering why, we're not looked at as humans, because in America's laws, technically, we're not seen as humans.
Right.
We're still 3/5 of a human being.
And even then, when you go into some of the writings, right? Even in the Willie Lynch letter, I was actually just reading the Willie Lynch letter 2 days ago, and one thing that's in the Willie Lynch letter, it says that Black people and animals are the same in the sense that in their natural habitat, they're not safe, meaning they're too wild. They have to be tamed, just like animals. So you have to understand how these people look at us. They look at us as animals. Well, I look at them as animals, and can't nobody stop me from thinking that way.
Right.
Can't nobody. So you can. This is what I always tell everybody. They can think that they're better than us. That's fine, but that's not going to stop me from thinking and knowing that I'm better than them.
Right.
Deuteronomy 7:6, like you said, that's the perfect cut. I'm better than it. So the point being, even out of everybody else, us in the ISUPK, we're better than everybody else. I just want everybody to understand that. We are the elite tier. That's what we are. And so you should walk with that confidence, okay? But let's get back into it, because I swear I wanted to get to verse 13, and we're at verse, 10, 11?
11.
Yeah. Let's get to verse 13. So
verse 11.
Verse 12.
No, verse 12. Moreover, I gave them my Sabbath.
Now we're going to get to what I was actually trying to talk about today, because I really want to get into this Sabbath. All right, I want to get into the Sabbath. So the Most High, and why does he say moreover? Because he gave us the law, statutes, and commandments. The Sabbath is included in the law, statutes, and commandments. It's a law to keep this day. But he said, moreover, I also gave them my Sabbath. But why is that important? Keep reading.
To be a sign between me and them.
To be a what?
To be a sign between me and them.
And what kind of sign is that? Keep going.
That they might know that I am the Lord that sanctify them.
This Sabbath is extremely important. I want everybody to understand that. This Sabbath is so important that that the Most High calls it a sign between him and us. That the Most High knows us. That's heavy. And we're going to get some precepts on it now. Keep going.
Okay. Verse 13. But the house of Israel rebelled against me.
But we rebelled against the Most High. Keep going.
In the wilderness. They walked not in my statutes, and they despised my judgments, which if a man do, he shall even live in them.
Mm-hmm.
And my Sabbath, they greatly polluted.
And we polluted the Most High Sabbath. That's the terrible part about this. We polluted the Most High Sabbath. The thing that he said, that's the sign between him and us, that he knows us. We polluted that one thing. That's heavy. But let's keep reading.
Then I said, I will pour out my fury upon them in the wilderness to consume them.
Now let's get Isaiah the 56th chapter, all right? Isaiah the 56th chapter. Let's talk about this Sabbath, all right? Let's understand the Sabbath. So Isaiah 56, and let's get verse 2.
Okay, the book of Isaiah, chapter 56, verse 2. Blessed is the man that doeth this, and the Son of Man that layeth hold on it, that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it.
That does what?
That keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it.
So it say, blessed is the man that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it. Now, how do you pollute the Sabbath? Somebody tell me how you pollute the Sabbath.
Sloppy, sir. You go ahead and work on the Shabbat when you have the opportunity to not work without losing slavery and jeopardizing the family, or you don't serve the Lord when you can
Yeah.
on the Shabbat.
Yeah. That's polluting the Sabbath. This is what the Sabbath is. The Sabbath, the Most High said, we're going to read it in just a second. The Most High said, don't work on the Sabbath. So if you work on the Sabbath, you're polluting the Sabbath. It's that simple, right? Now, of course, we understand that we're in captivity and that because of this captivity, a lot of our brothers and our sisters are forced to work on the Sabbath. That's a terrible thing. And that's why the Lord is going to destroy Esau utterly. That's why Obadiah 1:10 says that they're going to go extinct because they've done something like that. They forced us to have to pollute the Lord's Sabbath. Now, once again, that's up to everybody's own discretion. You understand? If you can get the day off, get the goddamn day off, right? You have to get the day off. So, when you finding a slavery, when you're finding a job, tell them, I can't work on Saturdays. I can't work from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Just do that. It's really easy. I don't know if everybody understands how easy that is. It's actually pretty easy to not work on the Sabbath. Just have to try a little bit, all right?
And you know, it might take you a minute because some people might not want those.
Listen, the time that we're living in, and like you said too, sir, like it's not really that hard, especially given this plague that the Most High blessed us with, this COVID. Everybody's hiring.
Right.
They don't really have a choice.
Yeah, they ain't got a choice. If you say you want the Sabbath off, they're gonna have to give you a Sabbath off. I mean, it's that simple. You know what I'm saying? Most jobs you can find, they'll give you the day off, right? But that's the point. That's how you pollute the Sabbath. That's the one thing that the Lord said that you cannot do on the Sabbath is work. So don't work on the Sabbath, right? So that's why it says, blessed is the man that doeth this, and the Son of Man that layeth hold on it, that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and keepeth his hand from evil. Let's get Genesis, the 2nd chapter. Let's talk about the Sabbath. Let's understand where the Sabbath comes from. So I wanted to. That's like a preliminary right there, what I just read, because I want everybody to understand that you will be blessed if you keep the Sabbath. That's important, right? But now we're going to see where the Sabbath comes from. We got to see where the Sabbath comes from and why the Lord has us keep the Sabbath. All right. So give me Genesis, the 2nd chapter, and the first verse.
Okay, the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the
this is after the Most High. Remember, if you read the first chapter of Genesis, you can do that on your own time. You can see that the Most High created the heavens and earth, created all of the people, right? On the 6th day, the Most High created all the people, right? And of course, we can see throughout that time span that the Most High created the stars in the sky, the sun, the moon, everything that you see today, all of the elements, the Most High created those things in the first 6 days, all right? And then we see, thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them, all of the stars, all of the planets, and all of that, right? Keep going.
Okay. Verse 2. And on the 7th day, God ended his work, which he had made.
And on which day?
On the 7th day.
On the 7th day. All right. Go ahead. Keep going.
On the 7th day, God ended his work, which he had made. And he rested on the 7th day from all his work, which he had made.
So we see the Most High rested on that 7th day. He did no work on that 7th day. You understand that?
Okay.
Keep going.
Verse 3. And God blessed the 7th day.
And he did what?
And he blessed the 7th day.
Go ahead.
And sanctified it.
And he did what? And what?
And sanctified it.
Sanctified it. You know what sanctify means? It means to set it apart. It's the same thing as holy. Set it apart. He separated the 7th day from all of the rest of the days. This is the 2nd chapter of Genesis. This is the 2nd chapter in the Bible. And we see that the Most High set apart that 7th day, right? And he blessed it. Go ahead.
Middle of verse 3.
Why did he bless it? Go ahead.
Because that in it he had rested from all his work, which God created and made.
Because he did what?
Because in that he had rested.
He had rested. That's why he blessed and sanctified that day. He blessed and sanctified and set apart that 7th day because he rested. See, this Sabbath that we keep is absolutely spiritual. It's spiritual. You understand? This isn't just, just one of the. A lot of people think the commandments are vain, man. A lot of people think the commandments are just, the guy's just telling us to do this just because he's some mean dad. No, this is a spiritual thing. The Most High set apart this day. And so now we're going to go into Exodus, the 20th chapter, and we're going to see where the law was written down. Now, of course, this is damn near the law right here. If the Lord say he sanctified that day, because he rested on it, I would do the same thing. But let's now get it solidified. Let's get Exodus, the 20th chapter. You know, Exodus, the 20th chapter is where you get the so-called 10 Commandments from. All right. I say so-called because, of course, that's what the Christian church deemed is the 10 Commandments, because they were the ones that were written on the tablets by the finger of the Most High. But, you know, there's plenty of commandments. And don't ever say there's 16. I mean, it's like a 613 commandments either. We don't say that. That's a Talmudic theory. Not theory, but that's a Talmudic ideology. There's around that number, but don't ever say 613. You get that from the Talmud. All right. I'm in Exodus 10. So Exodus 20, and I think it's verse 8. We want to start it?
Come on now. Book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
So he said, remember the Sabbath. Now, once again, this was written with the finger of God. Moses came down off of the mountain when Moses was dealing with the Most High for 40 days and 40 nights, face to face, dealing with the Most High, right? He came down, the Most High wrote these 10 laws down on tablets with the finger of God, and Moses brought them down, right? So these are extremely important to the Most High, gotta be, right? So it say, remember the Sabbath day. Don't forget the Sabbath. Now, what have we done in America? We've forgotten about the Sabbath day, because what do? We keep Sunday. We keep what we're gonna go into history and find out it's called the Lord's Day by the Romans. You understand? So we forgot. We've already, most of us, from the time that we were born up until the time that we found the truth, forgot this. When it told us to remember the Sabbath day. Go ahead.
Come on. To keep it holy.
To keep it holy. Why does it say to keep it holy? Somebody tell me why it says to keep it holy. Explain that to me.
Because it's separate.
Because the Most High sanctified it. That's why we got to keep it holy. The Most High said it's separate, it's holy, then we got to keep it holy. That's kind of simple. Go ahead.
That's what I say to my kids because I said so.
Right. Damn right. That's the perfect answer. You understand? Because the Most High said it was sanctified. We got to keep it sanctified. Right. We have to. Why does it say it like this? It says to keep it holy. It must, listen, man, we're gonna have to keep this Sabbath day holy, because we can't do what Ezekiel the 20th chapter just told us that we've done. It's profane it. We can't do that. We have to stop doing that. Like that, you know that. Okay, for anybody that don't know, in Arizona school, there's a Christian church right next door to us. Are they in there right now keeping the Sabbath? But when will they be there? On the Sunday. Man, that's my brother, man. On a Sunday, man. You understand? They're gonna be there on Sunday morning faithfully. And if somebody misses that church, somebody misses that Sunday service, oh man, listen, God ain't with you, brother. You understand? Why is that? Because they have forgotten about the Sabbath, and they keep Sunday holy. They don't keep the Sabbath holy. You gonna say something?
Yeah, I don't want to go too off topic, but thinking on the Christian church, just how you see the consequence of not keeping the Lord holy and being in that place worship on a Sunday. I read a story where this woman somewhere in the South devout to that church, 40, 50 years home. I said, paid her tithe money, all the time, on time. Got sick in the hospital for about 2 months. She wasn't able to pay her tithe. Yeah, they're gonna send her a letter saying that they kicked out the church because she wasn't pay her tithe. Yeah, that's it. Listen, there's no loyalty. I mean, they don't. That's all they can. You understand that the church teaches that the law is done away with, right? Uh-huh. What law do they keep though? Pay the law of tithes. Which I asked somebody from a church before, like, so if all the laws are done away with, why do you keep the tithe? They say, somebody got to pay for the building. I was like, well, then just pay for the building. Man, listen. Why do you need the tithe money? Right? Why I gotta be called? Because you know why they do it like that? Because they want people to feel like God is making them pay for the building. That's why. They don't like if they just say anybody want to donate to the church so we can make sure that we they don't do that. They say, yeah, this is what God said, and they bring up Malachi where it says that you have robbed me of my time.
If the laws are done away with,
Right.
you should not pay tithes.
Right.
It should be a sin to pay tithes.
Yeah.
If the laws are done away with, you hate Christ. Ain't that right? Because I'm gonna tell you something. We're gonna have to run over. I mean, we can see that already, right? Because I got plenty more scriptures I'm bringing out. Y'all can leave whenever y'all want to. I'm just saying. But Creflo Dollar said that it's a sin to keep the law. He said Satan wants you to keep the law, but guess what he tells you to do? Pay tithes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say, like, our people are not excluded from the judgment that's coming to America. Because bastards like that, they gotta die. And I don't even feel bad about that. Like I'm in a sense, I'm like Paul, where I would rather that all my brothers and sisters could be saved. All of them. But niggas like that, it's lucky. He gotta die.
He told the church he need a $65 million jet.
He need a $65 million jet.
I heard that story. I was like,
me too.
I was like,
Can I have one? I bet everybody in that church would, if they feel like they need a $65 million jet. I mean, that'd be nice to have. I need a jet. I would like to not have to pay for the airfare to go to the Passover.
Right.
I'd rather not have to pay. It'd be a lot easier if I had a private jet. Go ahead. You gonna say
if
something?
I can, not even 5 minutes from where I stay is a private airport next to the Tucson airport.
Man, so you deserve a private jet.
I deserve a private jet.
Man, listen, man, these Christian pastors are bastards, and they're absolutely what we would call antichrist. You looking for some man to come, one specific man to come to be called antichrist? No, these cats is antichrist. Good.
Sloppy, sir. If I could build on what you're saying, just like the greediness of the greedy bastard that's called a Christian pastor is so retarded in a way that I want to find a more sophisticated way to say that. It's so stupid in the way that they do it.
And nigga said, let me find a more sophisticated way to say he say stupid. But go, you too are good.
But it's so stupid how damn greedy they are, and you can see that they're so short-sighted in their greediness that they literally only care about how much they can squeeze out of the person, because the more lucrative thing to do for black people with all those millions of dollars that these bastards are making is set up a housing complex.
Right.
Have a suburb that's full of black people, black Christians that are coming to the church that you're still convincing to do it while you're building up their economy.
Right.
But no, they just as long as you're sitting in these chairs, just
$10 billion in the last 10 years. So $10 billion the Christian church has made in the last 10 years. And you want to tell me to follow y'all? What have you done with that $10 billion? Right. Well, I can tell you what 65 million of it went. I can tell you that 65 million of it went to a jet. And then if you go into what's the cat name? What's the white boy name that not Joel Osteen, but the white boy, Kenneth Copeland.
Oh yeah.
He said man, no, I haven't seen this house and I don't want to. But listen, this cat Kenneth Copeland, he was on an interview, right? He had to buy a private jet too. You know, Christian pastors, they can't function without a private jet. He said, I can't be on a tube. What is it? A tube? What is it? He said a tube filled with demons. I think that's what he said. That's what he called if you fly, flew in a regular airplane. He said, I can't be on that tube filled with demons. So I had to buy a private jet.
Wow.
And I think he bought it from Tyler Perry. Was it him that bought it from Tyler Perry?
I think so.
Was it him? It might have been somebody else, but I think it was him that bought it from Tyler Perry. He was like, he gave me a good deal on it. It was like $50 million or something like that. It's like, goddamn. So now, once again, like I said, $10 billion in the last 10, 12 years in the Christian church. Where's that money going? Because like you said, they could build up whole apartment complexes. Couldn't they?
Concerts and
they could
way more.
And if they wanted to make some money, they could do it. But of course, they have to do it the wicked way. You understand that? They got to do it the wicked way because, of course, they've been given. If you go into the New Testament, you can find that the Most High will make somebody's mind reprobate. Meaning the Most High will make. You think that the Most High would just allow Creflo Dollar to say the things that he's doing if it wasn't the Most High's will? Right. The Most High is making Creflo Dollar say retarded, stupid things like that. Right. Yeah. You understand that? For the same people that are in that church. Right. for them, you know, and the reason why, of course, we have to understand something. Not everybody's cut out for this. So there has to be, if you're dumb enough to follow Creflo Dollar, I'm being serious. If you're dumb enough to follow Creflo Dollar, then you're definitely not worthy of the kingdom of heaven. Right. Definitely not worthy. Man, please.
I was a teenager living in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I went to a couple of times. I had a friend that I went to in middle school. His mom used to go to the Eddie Long's church, New Baptist, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
And so that church that's the first time I've seen a church that big before. Yeah. And I was like, damn, this is nice. And then I always realized, like, I remember realizing at that point, like, they got this money for this nice big church, but I had never seen them, you know, in back in the hood.
Right. Well, you know, the people that go to the church, what do they pull up in? Do they pull up in BMWs and Mercedes Benzes? No, I'm saying the people, like the people, not the pastor. I'm talking about the church goers. They pulling up in a '96 Honda. That's they pulling up in, and the alternator is going bad. You understand me? So, but that's the point. You know what I'm saying? The Christian church. That's the Christian church in a nutshell, right? That's why the Most High had to say what He said in the book of Ezekiel: "Woe be unto the pastors that feed themselves and do not feed my flock," because they feed themselves with that money. Money's not going to, and you got to understand something about these churches. They don't pay taxes. They don't pay taxes on anything.
And the pastors get paid too.
And the pastors get paid. They get a salary. So imagine that. And you got to give him some more money. That's ridiculous, right? So that's why. So I know we went off a little bit. But listen, no, it's fine, because that needed to be said. We got to say that as much as we possibly can. Until there's no breath in our lungs, we should come up against that Christian church. So never apologize for that. Yeah, please. Understand? So give me Exodus. Let's start from the top. Exodus 20:8.
Come on. Look at Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Verse 9. 6 days shalt thou labor.
Now this is the guidelines for the Sabbath day. This is it. This is what you need to know about the Sabbath and nothing else. Go ahead.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
So you got 6 days to do your work. Go ahead.
Come on. Verse 10. But the seventh day.
But which day?
But the seventh day.
But the seventh day. Go ahead.
Is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
That's the Sabbath of who?
The Lord thy God.
It's not the Sabbath of the ISUPK, not the Sabbath of Parak. It's not me telling you to do this. This is the Most High. This is the Sabbath of the Lord. It's not the Sabbath of Moses either. A lot of people like to say that this is the Mosaic law. That's Christianity. But the truth is that this is the law of the Most High. And that Sabbath day is the Sabbath of the Most High. Go ahead.
Okay. In it thou shalt not do any work.
So in that day, this is the guideline for that day. For the Sabbath day, which is today, do no work. Right? Your slavery, that job that you go into, your 9 to 5, don't go into that 9 to 5 on the Sabbath. Like I said earlier, find you a job that does not require you to come into work on that Saturday or Friday night. Get off before sundown on Friday night. You understand? That's what you got to. And if you're in the truth, I would expect, you understand, that you do that. That you, when you looking for a job, looking for a slavery, you better tell them, because they always ask you, right? What days can you work?
Huh.
I ain't applied for a job in a minute, so lucky. But I remember, right, in times past, that they ask you, well, what days are you available? And people tell you, they tell you to tell them I'm available 7 days a week, so you look like, more available and things like that. You're not available on Friday sundown and Saturday sundown, and it's that simple, right? And so that's the guideline for the Sabbath day. Keep going.
Okay. Bit of a 10. Thou nor thy son nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
So now you have to understand something about the Sabbath day. It's extremely spiritual, because the Lord rested on that seventh day. Neither you, nor your son, your daughter, your servants, nobody, not even your cattle. You understand that cattle is used for the field. When you're a farmer, you use your cattle for various jobs. Right. And that those cattle are making you money. Well, on that day, they don't work. You don't work. Your sons, daughters, nobody works on that day. If you have a business, now, of course, a lot of us don't own farms today. Today, if you have a business, you can't make your workers work on a Saturday. It's closed. You got to close up shop for that day. That's how serious it is. You can't make no money on the Sabbath. That's it. You understand? That's why when the scripture said that you have to refrain from doing your pleasure on the Sabbath day, that's what it's talking about. It's talking about you making money because that's your pleasure. But you have to. Everybody stops working on the Sabbath. That's why when the kingdom come, there will be no QT open or Fry's open or Kroger's open or Circle K's or whatever. I don't know what everybody else got in them other states, right? But all of them convenience stores and all of that ain't gonna be none of that on the Sabbath. So you're gonna be forced to have to, buy what you need to buy throughout the week. On the Sabbath, you're gonna have to, deal with what you got. You might have to, if you messed up throughout the week and you ain't get what you needed, you might have to call the brother like, "Hey, Salaki, you got any you got any extra food that I can have for today?" You understand? You're gonna be like them brothers on you're gonna be like Martin Lawrence on Bad Boys, trying to borrow sugar from the neighbor's house and stuff like that. Because you can't go to the store and buy it because there ain't gonna be no stores open. Yeah. You just say something?
Salaki, sir, that 24/7 is going away. It's gonna be 24/6.
24/6. Understand? You can't work 24/7.
Nope.
Heavy.
That's if you're a hustler out there, you think you're gonna be out here just working every single day of the week. Let it be known. Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays.
Right.
Man.
Right.
Hey, so it does. It works. So you can't tell me it don't work.
Right.
You can open up a store and have it be closed on Saturday. Chick-fil-A is open for anybody on Sunday.
Right. And that's actually really heavy that you brought that out because real talk, a lot of people think, well, they can't sacrifice one day out of the week. That's 52 days out of the year that they're not working. 52 days out of 365 days in a year, they're closed. But they're still $1 billion company.
Right.
If the Christians can do it, so you're telling me you can't do it, but the Christians can do it? Come on, man. You could take a day off of work. That's a lot. Go ahead.
I've seen small convenience stores because they're Christian be closed on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? It's so you can do it. So you open up that business, you want to have that storefront. Hey man, as long as it's like you can't make sure your store is closed on Saturday, man.
Yeah.
Follow the laws. It said the Christians can do it every Sunday, and you can do it every Saturday.
Yeah, damn right. And the sister said, as long as I'm here on the Sabbath, they're gonna have to work with me to it's like they're gonna have to work with me to work. Told Edomites I'm not missing the class. Most are encouraged. Yeah, because she said, well, sir, can you give my supervisor an excuse note? Because she's at a slavery right now. Right. Yeah, man. Listen, if you got to be at the slave, if you can watch class, then that's what you're gonna have to do. You have to do the best that you can. Understand? And I will tell everybody that does have a slavery that requires them to work on a Saturday, you can get a religious exemption, and they cannot fire you for it. Right. You can go Google it. Right. There's a specific form that you can fill out. It's on Google. It's you just have to Google religious exemption. For a day off, something like that. I can't remember what it's called. But just do the research, right? But you can get a religious exemption for the Sabbath day. So I would anybody that has a slavery that requires you to work on the Sabbath, do that. You know what I'm saying? And by law, by federal law, not state law, not city law, nothing like that. By federal law, they have to give you the day off and they can't fire you for it. Because that, of course, is the First Amendment, religious freedom, right? Con says, absolutely, look it up. All right, let's keep going, right? So nobody can work on the Sabbath, not a goddamn soul, right? And let's see why. Go ahead.
Con, verse 11. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them.
Right. And so now we see that the Most High made the earth in 6 days, meaning, the heaven and the earth in 6 days. That was his work. That was his labor. You understand? That was his job, right? But keep going.
And rested the seventh day.
But he rested on the seventh day. Like I said, this thing is spiritual. What we doing? Keeping the Sabbath is absolute. It's probably one of the most spiritual laws that you can keep because this is the one law that we see the Most High keeping. That's heavy. Keep going.
And rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
And he hallowed it, which hallowed is sanctified, which is like made it holy. You understand? He set it apart. Right? Let's get Luke, the 6th chapter. All right. we'll talk about something, right? Because that's where the Sabbath comes from. But as Christians don't believe in the Sabbath for a number of reasons, right? We'll actually get into that in just a minute. Let's get 6 and 5, right? So, what about if you call yourself a Christian, which technically, right, we don't call ourselves Christians in the UPK. We follow Christ, but Christian is a derogatory term that you find in the book of Acts, right? Just like you see Black Hebrew Israelites, that's like a derogatory term. They call us that because, for one, what the hell is a Black Hebrew? Hebrew Israelites are Black, right. And then what the hell is a Hebrew Israelite anyway? You understand? Right. Because technically we are Israelites because Esau is a Hebrew. Huh. You understand? Ishmael is a Hebrew. So I mean that don't do nothing for me. So we are just Israelites, and we don't need to be Black Israelites because the Israelites are Black. You understand? Right. So that's a derogatory term, Black Hebrew Israelites. Well, the same way that that's a derogatory term, so is the term Christian, because the first time that we were called Christians was at Antioch, and they were basically calling us the same way Christians call us Black Hebrew Israelites. Right. Everybody else was calling us Christians, right? Because they were trying to be, they're trying to be slick. You gonna say something?
Wow, yes, sir. That term that you Black Hebrew Israelites, that term wants to presume or assume that there are some white Hebrew or there are other nationalities of Hebrew Israelites.
Right.
So there's no, like you say, sir, there's no need for those damn prefixes. It's just Israelites.
Right. It's just Israelite. That's it. Let's read it, right? 6 and 5.
Okay. The book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 5. And he said unto them that the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath.
Who's saying that? Who's saying it?
Christ.
That's Christ. That's Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. That's who said that. Christ is what?
Christ, the Son of Man, is Lord also of the Sabbath.
Christ is the Lord of the Sabbath. Now, if you call yourself being a Christ follower, I think you should start keeping the Sabbath. Isn't that right? Yeah. And I think we should also, anybody that say that they follow Christ, you should follow by example, right?
Gotcha.
Skip back a couple of chapters. Let's go to Luke, the 4th chapter now. Let's understand something. Because if you say that you follow Christ, Christ said he's the Lord of the Sabbath, right? He said that out of his own mouth. We saw that. We just read that. Well, now let's see if Christ kept the Sabbath. Give me Luke 4, and you can start around, I think, 14. Let me see. Yeah. You can start at 14.
Okay. The book of Luke, chapter 4, verse 14. And Jesus said in the power of the Spirit of Galilee.
You got to start that over.
And Yahweh shall return in the power of the Spirit into Galilee.
Uh-huh.
And there went out a fame of him through all the region round about.
Right. So now you have to understand something about Christ. Christ started to gain fame. I mean, everybody started to talk about him because even as a child, remember, he would go into the synagogues and he would debate the teachers. Because the teachers didn't, you got to understand something. The teachers was just like the Christian church today back then, because they didn't understand the Bible either. So when they would go and they would try to teach on the book of Isaiah or the book of Ezekiel, trying to break scriptures down, they didn't understand none of that. So Christ would go and he would debate, right? And he would want to debate what on him, right? So now as he got older, he started to get to gain some fame, and a lot of people started to know who Christ was. Right? He was like the talk of the town, right? Keep going.
Okay. Verse 15. He taught in their synagogues, being glorified all of all.
And this is, you got to understand something about Christ also. He taught in the synagogues, in the churches, right? Keep going.
Okay. Verse 16. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. Mm-hmm. And as his custom was.
So this is his custom, what we're about to read about. Go ahead.
He went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day.
On what day?
The Sabbath day.
One more time.
In the Sabbath day.
On the Sabbath day. Keep going.
And stood up to read.
And he stood up to read so he could teach. You understand that? On what day? On the Sabbath day. Because you have to understand that this Sabbath service that we keep is not nothing new. This goes back into the first 5 books of the Bible. This is a law. You think we do this just because we want to give up our Saturdays? You think we don't have anything that in our carnal minds is better to do on the Sabbath? Like, no, this is the work of the Lord, because this is what the Most High ordained for us to do, commanded us to do. So Christ did the same thing. Go ahead. You gonna say something?
Yeah, so you know, just personally, even before coming into the truth, trying to show, my kid's mom and like her parents and other people, right here, right, y'all, it says no. God said to keep the Sabbath day. We know that Saturday's supposed to be the Sabbath day.
Mhm.
So you're supposed to keep that whole. You're not supposed to go in church and worship and be like all like that on Sunday.
Yeah.
God said His day, it's Sabbath day.
Right.
And then you can show them all the proof, show them the scripture, and they'll be like, well, that's how it is today.
Man, I'm telling you, man. And I'm gonna show y'all how important it is to keep this Sabbath day. I'm gonna show y'all. Give me James. Give me James, the 2nd chapter. Because I'm gonna show y'all exactly how important it is to keep this Sabbath. It's a lot deeper than what you think it is. You think it's just a day, and if you miss out on it, it's not a big deal. I'm gonna show you something about keeping this Sabbath day. And like I said, we see Christ keeping the Sabbath day. Christ said that you got to follow Him. So if you believe that you're a follower of Christ, then you have to keep the Sabbath day. You have to.
Or just throw the whole Bible away, because at that point,
Or just throw exactly. If that's the case, you just if you don't want to do that, then you should throw. And I'm gonna show you what you just said was heavy, right? Give me the I think it's the 10th verse. Give me the 10th verse. Let me get there with you. Hold on. James 2 and 10.
What you get?
Yep, you got it. Go ahead.
The book of James, chapter 2, verse 10. For whosoever shall keep the whole law, and yet offend in one point.
In what?
And yet offend in one point.
In one point. Go ahead.
He is guilty of all.
He's guilty of what?
Of all.
Now, this is what I want you to understand something. I really want you to. I want you to drill this into your brain. If you don't keep the Sabbath, you're the same as a child molester. If you don't keep the Sabbath, you're a homosexual. Ain't that what the Bible just said? If you say that you keep the law, you ain't got to say that you keep the law, regardless if you keep the law or not. If you offend in one point of this law, you are guilty of all of it. Imagine that. Imagine not keeping the Sabbath because you feel like, I ain't got to keep the Sabbath, and then being judged the same next to a goddamn child molester getting the same punishment. Can you imagine that? If you don't keep the Sabbath day, you're a homosexual. If you don't keep the Sabbath day, you're a child molester. You're a rapist. You're a murderer. You're a thief. You're all of those things, because if you offend in one point of the law, which is the Sabbath day, that's one point in the law, then you offend in all. And that's why I say, if you smoke marijuana, I told you I was going to show y'all. If you smoke marijuana, you're a homosexual. I mean, that's what the Bible said. I didn't say it. Parak ain't said it. Razan ain't said it. Kabbalah Maf ain't said it. The Bible said it. So you should just try. You know what you should do? Because so many people ask us, you know what somebody got so upset about? I was on Clubhouse the other day, right? And somebody got so upset because Christ says, be therefore perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. And Captain Zayak brought that out, right? And some cat said, well, are you perfect? Captain Zayak didn't even hesitate. He said, yes, yeah, I'm perfect. Yeah. And they were so upset about that, but it's like, you have to be, otherwise you're a child molester. Right. I mean, that's all I can say about that, right? If you're not perfect, you're a child molester. If you're not perfect, you're a homosexual. If you're not perfect, you're an adulterer. If you're not perfect, you are absolutely everything that the Bible tells you not to be, even if you're just one thing that the Bible tells you not to be. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. So you have to keep this Sabbath. If you don't, listen, if you can make it into this Sabbath service and I don't see you here, you're the same as a child molester. I would try really hard to make it here. So I'm just being honest. True. And I'm laughing. Y'all see me laughing. That's just me. I was high says extremely serious because I'm just saying what he says. Isn't the book of James divinely inspired by the Most High? Well, hey, listen, you got some bad luck coming to you if you're not keeping the Sabbath day. So, like, go ahead. You say something.
If I can, the Christians, they always like to, which always about for me to tell the old laws done away with, right? Mm-hmm. But how many times we see throughout the New Testament where it's telling you, just like here, you have to keep the law,
right?
So if that's the case, then if you're not going to keep the law, you're not going to follow Jesus, or as you call him, right? You just throw away everything because James says keep the whole law.
Right. I mean, really?
Christ said, "Be ye therefore perfect."
I don't know what to tell niggas, man. Go ahead. You can keep going. Keep going.
Christ said, "Be ye therefore perfect." Being less than is an excuse for you to keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
For you to continue, if you continue sinning, for you continue smoking that marijuana, to continue, prostituting, other things like that in the world.
If you are a man that has sex with a prostitute, you're gay too. I don't give a damn if it's a woman prostitute, you're gay. If you are a man that has sex with another man's wife, you're gay. Now I say that because of this, what we just read, because if you offended one point, you offended all. But it's also really gay to put your rod where another man's rod has just been.
Right.
That's gay in itself.
I never understood that.
Yeah, that's gay.
I had brothers talking about you want to run the train. I was like,
man,
what?
Brother asked me that when I was in the world.
I was like, no.
I was young coming up too, and they would see you expect some young high school cat to just be like, yeah, I'm with that. Anything to get a piece of tail, right? But point being is, right? They asked me that they didn't ask me. They was like, yeah, we're gonna run the train. I was like, what you mean? You telling me I got to go after you was just in there? I'm not doing that. That's the Salaki. You got to be a different type of brother. You got to be the different type of brother I'm talking about. You got to be a homosexual to want to do that. Salaki.
Yeah, and if I can,
gay.
It is definitely fun if the brothers can't have none. All right, don't let that song fool you.
Yeah, it's more fun if the brothers can't have none.
Right.
You understand me? I want something that none of my brothers is touching. Salaki. And my brothers, because they're my brothers, they don't want to touch what I'm touching. You understand?
I understood that my homeboy in the world that has to say that all the time. You got a girl, when the brothers can't have that, I was like, fun for me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. Man, I'm telling you, man.
You get your own.
Yeah, man. That's you damn right about that, man.
But as the law said, for Christians, listen, there's no way you can go in this Bible for you to say that the law is done away with. You have to do it all. You have to be perfect. You follow Christ. Christ said be perfect.
Right.
So we're not gonna follow what he said. You should just throw the Bible away and continue in whatever sin that you're doing.
Right.
Continue to be imperfect.
Right.
Because that's what you want.
Man, and then you know what, the one thing that I'm extremely afraid of, that I'm scared so scared to death about it, that I'm going to make sure I keep the law. I'm so afraid of Christ telling me, depart from me, ye that work iniquity, I never knew you. I'm so deathly afraid of that I never break another law ever. That's how afraid I am. No matter how much of a lust demon or how much of you might have a getting high demon, whatever the case is, no matter how strong that demon is, you better be stronger than that demon, because that demon wants you to hear those words. That demon wants you to hear from Christ, depart from me, ye that work iniquity, I never knew you. That's what that demon wants you to hear. You know how bad that would break my heart? So lock it. That would absolutely break my heart. All right, but let's get back into the Sabbath, right? We almost done, y'all. We one scripture and a quote away from getting up out of here. All right. I want you to go into, I sent you this, go into that quote from Ignatius. All right. We're gonna show you something about how wicked. We're gonna show you about how wicked the inception of a Sunday Sabbath is. Right. The 8110. So this quote that the brother's about to read is from a man named Ignatius, right? He was a so-called saint in the church back in Antioch, right? Around the time of like 100 AD. And we're gonna see something after Christ's death. A lot of people, the way that people claim to serve Christ right now, all of these falsehoods that you see is nothing new. It's like the scriptures say in the book of Ecclesiastes, that which has been is now, and that which is now has been. There's nothing new under the sun. So the same way that people don't understand how to serve Christ right now, and you get everything wrong, that was the same thing back then, even directly after Christ died. So let's get that. You just call it how it is. This is from like I said, a man named Ignatius. He was like a pillar in the Christian church at that time, right after Christ died. Go ahead.
That time, Ignatius, letter to the Magnesians, AD 110. If therefore those who were brought up in the ancient order of things.
In the ancient order of things. So now what's the ancient order of things? The ancient order is the law, statutes, and commandments, the way that we're supposed to keep them. Y'all understand that, right? The ancient order of things. What's the ancient order of the Sabbath day? Well, the Most High created the Sabbath day back in Genesis, the 2nd chapter. All right?
Paraphrase real quick. The Bible says, seek ye out the old ways.
Right, exactly. But this cat Ignatius, he said what?
Have come to the possession of a new hope.
No, read that from the top.
Like, if therefore those who were brought up in the ancient order of things have come to the possession of a new hope, no longer observing the Sabbath, but
so it says, wait, hold on. It says, no, that's on me. It says, now have come to the possession of a new hope. What does this mean? This is talking about something that's changing, a new hope. Before we had the hope of the Old Testament, we had the hope of the law in his words, right? That's the old hope that we have. But now it said that we have come into a new hope. Go ahead.
No longer observing the Sabbath.
No longer what?
Observing the Sabbath.
So he's saying no longer observing the Sabbath, but doing what? Go ahead.
But living in the observance of the Lord's day.
Of what?
Of the Lord's day.
One more time.
Of the Lord's day.
You know what that Lord's day is? Go and look it up on your Google. Your Google is going to tell you that the so-called Lord's Day is Sunday. That is quite literally what happened. That's why you understand what's happening here. The same way that, matter of fact, pull for me, keep that up, but pull for me Daniel the 7th chapter. Pull for me Daniel the 7th chapter. I want everybody to understand something about this. He said, I'll read it from the top, right? Ignatius said, if therefore those who were brought up in the ancient order of things, which is keeping the law, keeping the Sabbath, have come to the possession of a new hope, no longer observing the Sabbath, but living in the observance of the Lord's day. This is what our oppressor has done. Our oppressor has changed everything that we're supposed to do. They've changed it into what they want us to do. Because you have to understand, even today, right now in America, why do we not keep the Sabbath right now? Well, because our oppressor tells us that we go to church on Sunday. That's why. Why? Listen, everything is by design. Like, you have to understand something. All of these things is by design. And like I said, nothing is new under the sun. The same thing that was happening here, this was a decree. This is the letter to the Magnesians. You have to understand at this time after Christ's death, everybody was going. It was a power struggle. Everybody wanted to have the correct doctrine of Christ. Everybody. And so what they would do is they would make up new doctrines. You know how many different types of doctrine? Like this is 200 years before the Council of Nicaea, when they started to celebrate Easter as a Christian holiday. This is 200 years before that. You get what I'm saying? So you got to understand, over hundreds of years of span of time, it was just a constant power struggle. Everybody wanted to have their own doctrine. I mean, how much different is it today? You got GMS talking that you can rape women. That's their doctrine. That's what they want. They say you can smoke marijuana too. That's good. Listen, all these different doctrines. That's why we say, just as a side note, I say this anytime I can, ISUPK is the home of the truth, because we have that one doctrine. The one doctrine that's going to get you salvation from the Most High in Christ is the doctrine that we have right here. And guess what? You can bring your daughters to class, and no brother is going to be looking at them any type of way. Taking the GMS classes, I don't know what's going to happen. I can't vouch for them. All I do know is that they want to rape them. That's what they said. It's a lucky. And that's my point. My point, and it's really not even about GMS or any other camp or nothing like that. I don't give a damn about them enough to think about them. But my point is, that's been the same thing since Christ died. And I mean, even before that. But since Christ died, it's always been a power struggle. No, my doctrine, this doctrine, that doctrine. It's always been like that. Go ahead. You gonna say something?
No, I'm just gonna say, like, whenever we bring it up, I always just say, like, I always feel, bad for the sisters that makes the men in there, the daughters that are in that school, in that camp, whatever they want to call themselves, and the women who are married to the men who went in there, I feel bad for, but the women who hear the doctrine and choose to go and stay, it's Lord, like saying, Lord be with you.
Man, I'm telling you. And them women, that's called self-sabotage, man. Understand? But I mean, the same. You gotta understand, one sin ain't bigger than the other. So, I mean, the same way that woman decides she's gonna bring her daughter into that school where they say that they can rape little girls, is the same way as if you go into the Christian church. And, I mean, the Christian church probably gonna rape your kids anyway. You understand? So you gotta really understand, like, you really anything but the truth, the 100% truth. I mean, it's death. That's what you gotta look forward to. I'm saying. So I mean, and didn't Moses say that? Moses said, I bear a record before heaven and the angels that I said before you this day, life and death. He said, choose life that thou may therefore live. I mean, it's not much of a choice. That's why we say ain't no such thing as free will. Ain't no free will. You can't just do whatever you want. You can either do what the Lord says or you can die.
Like I say, this last thing, you know, so you can, this last thing, you know, as the Bible says, paraphrase real quick. You know, the Bible says, you know, there's only one doctrine, one body,
Book of Ephesians,
one spirit.
Ephesians 4:4. You
know what I'm saying? That's what you gotta realize. There's like I've heard many fake Israelite groups say, you know, no, it don't matter what camp you're in, you're serving the Lord. No, you're not.
Right.
You're not. It's not like, oh, you're in a Sakari, you're serving this body over here. You're a GOCC, you're serving the body over. No, you're not.
Right.
You're not. Sorry. No, you've all gone into fights because you all think different from each other.
Right.
But here, the ISUPK, we are one body.
That's right.
We are one doctrine, one mind, one spirit in this school. That's where we need to be at, man. Like, there's, like I like to say, because Officer Pack says a lot, there's only one.
Yeah, that's right.
There can only be one.
Right.
Highlander, no, only one.
Right.
That's it. So that's here.
Right.
Whether you like it or not.
Damn right. We all understand that.
No, so that's all I got on that one.
No, listen, you better understand that. This is the only place you can be safe. The book of Ezekiel tells you that in our captivity, the Most High was going to set up for us a little sanctuary. That's this place. Did it say sanctuaries? Plural?
No.
It didn't say plural, did it? It said a little sanctuary. There's only one. And this is what I like to tell everybody. Wherever you think that little sanctuary is, go find it. If you think it's here, good. But if you think it's somewhere else, Lord be with you. Some people think the little sanctuary is with GMS. Some people think it's with IUIC. Just know that your husband's going to be on the phone with another man masturbating. I mean, that's all I got to say about that. It's only one, you know, like the brother said, right? Let's get it. So now we just read, of course, right? And the reason why I'm bringing all that up is not for no specific reason. You know, I don't give a damn about them camps enough to even think about them, you know, at all. But they're perfect examples of that offending in one point of the law. They're perfect example. They don't understand how to keep this thing, right? So let's get Daniel. Give me the book of Daniel. Give me the 7th chapter. We're going to start at 25, right? Because we just read Ignatius saying that we should keep the Lord's day and not the Sabbath day. He made a decree that we do not keep the Sabbath day anymore. We got to keep the Lord's day, which is on a Sunday, because you got to remember that the calendar that we are under right now, which is the 7 day, not the 7 day, but the 7 day doesn't come from the Greco-Roman, but this is the Greco-Roman calendar. This is the Gregorian calendar. Y'all understand that? So the days of the week are named through the Greco-Roman calendar or the Gregorian calendar. So you have your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all based off of God. Right? Instead of Saturday on the Roman calendar, which would be the Sabbath because it is the 7th day, they decided, or Ignatius decided, amongst other men, that the first day, which is the Sunday on the Greco-Roman calendar, was going to be the Lord's day, and that's the day that we are to observe. That's according to him. I'm gonna show y'all something about that, right? Give me verse 24, actually.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 24. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first. He shall subdue 3 kings.
So what this is talking about the Roman Empire. Okay, that's what this is talking about. Where was Ignatius?
Roman Empire.
Yeah, he was at Antioch. You understand? That was part of the Roman Empire. Keep going.
Verse 25. Ye shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
And so he shall speak great against, I don't be against the Most High, right? Keep going.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High,
Mm-hmm.
and think to change times and laws.
And think to do what?
To change times and laws.
What's funny about this is Ignatius and all of the other cats that came up with this idea, they did both. They changed the time of the Sabbath, which is from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. They changed that to Sunday. And they also changed the law of the Sabbath. They said you don't have to keep the law of the Sabbath anymore. Now you keep the Lord's Day. And when it says the Lord's Day, it's not talking about the Most High, it's talking about Christ, right? And they're saying that they said, if we'd have kept reading down on that quote, we kind of running out of time. If we'd have kept reading down on that quote from Ignatius, anybody could look it up. It's the letter to the Magnesians. You can go and look that up. You can see where he said this, right, from Ignatius. But if we kept reading, it says, observance of the Lord's Day, on which also our life has sprung up again by him and by his death. That's how you know it's talking about Christ. So they made a day where Christ never asked to be worshipped. Like, meaning Christ never asked for a day for you to have an observance of his death. Is there any high holy day that we celebrate or that we keep that's the observance of his death?
Wow.
I would think it's kind of a sad thing that he died. Like, I don't think he wants you to just celebrate and remember that he died. You understand? That's why the whole thing with the cross, this type of stuff is where the cross comes from. Meaning people wearing the cross and, worshiping the cross and things like that. You're worshiping the thing that killed him. Just like this observance of the Lord's Day, which is what the Christians do, they're observing the day that Christ died. That's what it is. You gonna say something?
That sounds like that what like the Ammonites and the Moabites do, where they build a shrine. That's like idolatry.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely idolatry. That's exactly what it is. If you celebrate it, listen, if you are somebody that keeps the Lord's Day, which is the Sunday, if you go on the church on Sunday, you're keeping what we just read about.
Right.
That's idolatry.
Right.
So keep reading if you could.
Middle of verse 25.
Matter of fact, that's all we need on that. So this is what we just read, right? What we just read was he shall speak. So we're talking about the Romans, and we see Ignatius was in Antioch, right? And we see it says he shall speak great words against the Most High, which is what we saw. And what are the great words in this specific instance? Because we all understand the Romans and the Greeks and really everybody that's an Edomite, right, have spoken great words against the Most High. They have all thought to change laws and times, right? We understand that. We understand that they're the ones that taught us. That's what I was trying to get into earlier that I kind of lost my thought process on, is that they're the ones that taught us that the law is done away with. Because even Nat Turner knew that we had to keep the law, and he understood who the devil was. We all understand that, right? That's why he that big revolt. Nat Turner had that big revolt against, because he was a slave. He was the one that was going and killing all of them devils. He was that's the one that had the big revolt. But what they would do is they would go out and would sneak away, and they would try to read the Bible at night, and they found that our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. I mean, it's that simple. They found that thing out. You understand? But he went about it in an unrighteous way. He went and started a revolt and killed, a bunch of devils. The reason I know it was unrighteous is because eventually he died for that. You understand? That revolt, nothing came of it, right? But point being is, prior to that, our slave master was feeding us what you find in what's called the so-called slave Bible. In the slave Bible, y'all ever read that scripture where it says, "Servants, obey your masters"?
Yeah.
In the slave Bible, it says, "Slaves, obey your masters." That's what it says. And then what they do is they took out the part where if you keep reading, it says what?
It says, "And masters obey your servants."
And masters obey your servants. They took that part out. You understand?
They had that in there.
They couldn't have that in there. So that's the same thing. They thought to do what? They thought to change times and laws, right? Of course, the reason, like I said, that we don't keep the law in America is because we've been taught not to, right? And the Lord gave us over to that thing. So Most High in Christ, Barakatah Yahweh Yahushua for the ISUPK. Since 1969, we've been bringing this thing back. We've been telling our brothers and sisters to keep these laws. And of course, there's always going to be some brother, some sister that says that you don't have to. And what are we going to do about it? We are going to battle. To the day that we die, we're always going to fight for the laws of the Most High. One last thing. Get me, y'all know how I am. At the end of the class, y'all know how I get. Yeah. At the end of the class, y'all know I'll be trying to stretch it a little bit. But I do want to get Baruch in the Apocrypha. You got an Apocrypha or not? All right, so let's get Baruch. Let's just do something about this real quick. We're gonna get the 4th chapter. All right. Oh, this one. Just you just read from right here. Give me 4 and 1. Let's understand something about this, right? Because we understand that the Sabbath is a law, right? Law is never going to be done away with. You know how I know? Not only because Christ said it in Matthew the 5th chapter. Read that.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endureth forever.
That endureth until Christ comes.
Forever.
That endureth until the New Testament.
Forever.
That endureth until 1920.
Forever.
No, this is the law that endureth forever. That's what this is the book of the law, which is now you see that I got 2 separate books. Let me get this real quick. You see there's 2 separate books right here, right? Y'all see that, right? That's not how it was supposed to be. Y'all understand that this is one Bible. This right here is one Bible. The Apocrypha, yeah, right here. This perfect. This right here. This is the one Bible I'm talking about. This is the 1611 King James version of the Bible. All right, that's what this is. This includes the Apocrypha in it. All right, this includes the Apocrypha because the Apocrypha it's basically what the Apocrypha means. The term Apocrypha, it means lost books. That's basically what it means, right? But these books were originally included. I'll get a brief history on that. These books were originally included in the 1611 King James Bible. The Protestant Reformation is what took out the Apocrypha, these books out of the Bible, right? So the only reason, I mean, if you say you don't believe in the Apocrypha, the only reason you shouldn't is because you're a Protestant. Right. And you should go and just on your own time Google the ideologies of Protestant Christianity. All right, you should do that, and then maybe reconsider if you're a Protestant or not. Right, but point being is this is one Bible. So when it says these are the words of the book of the law, it's talking about this entire Bible. And then it says what? This is the law that endureth forever. There's no time stamp on when now we don't have to keep the law. Then the book of Micah say, it's like in Malachi 3 and 6. Malachi 3 and 6 says what? I am the Lord, I change not. That's what it says. So if the Lord changes not, he gave us these laws. What are you going to just throw them away? So the Sabbath is meant to be kept forever. Forever. The Sabbath is going to be kept in the kingdom of heaven. I can read that to you. Understand? The Sabbath and multiple feast days are going to be kept in the kingdom of heaven. This is the law that endures forever. All right? With that being said, you had something to say?
No, I'm good.
You good? He said, I'm good. I'm ready to get hell up out of here. I was just messing with you. All right. Make sure that was it on that. All right, that's it. Keep the Sabbath or you're a homosexual. If you don't keep the Sabbath, you're a child molester. Right. I don't know how. James 2 and 10. Go and read it and find out that if you're offended in one point of the law, you all of it. Right. You all of the abominations that the Most High told you not to be. I'll make sure I'm perfect, like Christ said.
If I can't,
go ahead. Go see. That's what I was waiting for. I'm trying to make it his fault, not mine.
Yes, just so you all understand. The answer to your question is yes. You are all those things. There is no order on which law is worse than the other in the Bible. Right. You are a murderer. You're the same thing as a thief that just stole a piece of gum.
Right. Damn right.
All right. I said you don't want to keep the Sabbath, then yes, like Osbrock here put so eloquently, you're a child molester.
Damn right.
So you're homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there is no tier of which law is worse than which law. Mm-hmm. So yes, the Most High eyes, you offended one, you offended all. Because right. You offended the smallest, the quote unquote smallest one, mm-hmm. You're offended the biggest thing.
That's right. Damn right.
That's all.
I would be careful, y'all. I would be extremely careful. Right. I would be extremely. And you see the judgments and the punishments for all of these things throughout the Bible. the scriptures also say this, because the judgment isn't, executed right away. I'm paraphrasing like hell. But because the judgment isn't executed right away, you thought you done got away with it. Excuse me. But the Lord is going to get you for what you've done. The Lord is going to deal with you for that, whatever it is, unless you repent. And if you repent, just understand something. Christ is the mediator between us and the Most High. And he's the propitiation for our sins. We all understand that. But Christ only died once. Hebrews 10 and 26 says what?
It's like we're on the spot right now. No, but no, there's no more.
There's no more sacrifices. There remaineth no more. Listen, if you sin, if we sin willfully, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. If you think that the law is done away with, and you do something that's against the law on purpose, willfully, which is not keep the Sabbath, since that's the topic today, there's no more sacrifice for your sin, meaning you're going to have to get judged somehow for it. You might not get like a fire judgment for it, but you're going to get judged for it. You understand that? Everybody should understand that. This God that reigns over the entire earth and the heavens. That's how this God operates. And we are absolutely lucky that the Most High sent Christ down here to die for us, because God knows, God knows all of us will be dead. The things that we've done, all of us will be dead. You understand?
Right.
All right, listen. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close out Sabbath service. All right, a minute up here. I'm modding, which means to stand.
Right, Amadium. Bapan Yah Hapadan. Stand and face the east.
All right, we're gonna get into these prayers. Beginning with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malak with Ka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathanawa, Lakam, Call Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Kawabwatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawabwatinawa, Wala'ah, Tawayanawa, Manasai 1, Abal, Hawashanawa, Mayan, Raikaya, Laka, Hamalagwa, Wa'ala, Wathaparath, La'aiwalumium, Aman.
The Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
All right, the Akak, which means the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Bashem Yahushai. Baba Kushah. Nathan Nawa Hakak. Hakak Larapa'ah. Kal Maka'ala. Wakal Madawa. Hakak Latahar. Amatazariah. Hakak Lakwayam. Hamathium. Hakak Arakawa. Hatama'ala. Lagar Shan. Bashem Yahushai. Tuwadaman.
The power in English. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai. Please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you, so be it.
All right, Psalms the 121st chapter in the Hebrew. Asha'a,
Asha'a,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Aharyam,
Aharyam,
Ma'ayan,
Ma'ayan,
Yaba'a,
Yaba'a,
Isaiah,
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 Ma'am,
Ma'an,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Shamayam,
Shamayam,
Wa'arataza,
Ba'arataza,
Ayathan,
Ayathan,
Lamawat,
Lamawat,
Regalka,
Regalka,
Ayanawam,
Ayanawam,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Hana,
Hana,
La'a,
La'a,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yayashan,
Yashur,
Shalmar,
Shalmar,
Yasha'ala,
Yasharala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazalka,
Tazalka,
Al Yad,
Ayat,
Yamyanka,
Yayika,
Yawamam,
Yawamam,
Hashamash,
Ashamash,
La'a,
La'a,
it's like a Yakaka,
Yakaka,
Wayarak,
Wayarak,
Balayala,
Balala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamarka,
Yashamarka,
Makal Rai,
Makal Rai,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Adnapashka,
Athampashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Taza Atka,
Taza Athka,
Waba,
Waba,
Wa'aka,
Wa'aka,
Ma'aitha,
Ma'aitha,
Wa'ai,
Wa'ai,
Iwalam.
I will love. Right. Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills.
I will lift up mine eyes into the hill.
From whence comes my help?
Whence comes my help?
My help from the
My help cometh from the Lord,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy help.
The Lord is thy help.
Like the Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
Nor the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil.
The
Lord shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
The Lord shall preserve thy going out
The
Lord shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in,
and thy coming in,
from this time forth,
From
this time forth,
even forevermore.
and even forevermore. All right, Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim,
Alahayim,
Adamayalaka,
Adayalanaka,
Alta Karash,
Alta Karash,
Wa Alta Shakwat,
Alta Shakwat,
All,
All,
Kayahana,
Kaihana,
Awayabika,
Ayamika,
Yahamaya 1,
Yamaya 1,
Ra'ash,
Ash,
Al Amaka,
Aimaka,
Yara Yamwa,
Arayamwa,
Sawada,
Sawada,
Wayatha,
Wayatha,
Yaitazawa,
Yaitazawa,
Altazapawanyika,
Utaja Pawandika,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Lakawa,
Lakawa,
Wanakakidam,
Wayakakidam,
Magalia,
Magaya,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yazakar,
Yazakar,
Sham Yasha'ala,
Sham Yashal,
Awada,
Awada,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Nawaitazawa,
Aitazawa,
Laba,
Laba,
Yakadwa,
Yakagwa,
Auyaka,
Ayaka,
Baya,
Ayat,
Yakarathwa,
Yakarathwa,
Ahaya,
Ahaya,
Adawam,
Adawam,
Wayashama Aliyam,
Washama Ali,
Mawa'aba,
Mawa'aba,
Wagaryam,
Wagari,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Waima 1,
Waima 1,
Waima Lot,
Waima Lot,
Palashah,
Palashat,
Anya Shavya,
Aishabi,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gamashawar,
Gamashawar,
Nalawa,
Nalawa,
Imam,
Imam,
Ayawa,
Ayawa,
Zawai,
Zarawat,
Labanya Lawat,
Labanulawat,
Salah,
Salat,
Ashalaham,
Ashalaham,
Kamadya,
Kamadya,
Kasaya,
Kasaya,
Sara'ah,
Sara'at,
Kayabya,
Kayabya,
Banakal,
Banakal,
Kwayashwan,
Bayashwan,
Nashamadwa,
Yashamadwa,
Bayan,
Bayan,
Dara,
Dara,
Ayawa,
Ayawa,
Daman,
Daman,
La Adama,
La Adama,
Shayathamwa,
Shayathamwa,
Nada,
Nada,
Yamawa,
Yamawa,
Kaira,
Kaira,
Wakaza Abba,
Wakaza Abba,
Wakaza Bak,
Wakaza Bak,
Wakaza Zal,
Wakaza Zor,
Mana'ai,
Mana'ai,
Call,
Call,
Nasaya,
Masiyah,
Kamwa,
Kamwa,
Ashar,
Ashar,
Amarwa,
Amar,
Nayorashah,
Rashad,
Lanawa,
Lanaw,
Ah,
Ah,
Na'awat,
Nawat,
Alahayim,
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 Shayathamwa,
Shayathamwa,
Kagogala,
Kagogala,
Kakwash,
Kakwash,
Lapanya Raka,
Bayuraka,
Ka'ash,
Ka'ash,
Taba'ira,
Taba'ira,
Ya'ira,
Ya'ira,
Wakalaba,
Ukalaba,
Talahat,
Talahat,
Aryam,
Aryam,
Khan,
Khan,
Tharadapma,
Thoradatma,
Masa'irika,
Masa'irika,
Wabasa,
Wabasa,
Wapatka,
Wapatka,
Tabalam,
Tabahalam,
Mala'ah,
Mala'at,
Payaham,
Payaham,
Kwalawan,
Kalawan,
Wayabakwashwa,
Wayabakwaswa,
Shamka,
Shimka,
Yahawah,
Yahawah,
Yabashwa,
Yabashwa,
Wayabahawa,
Wabahawa,
Ayahai,
Ayai,
Waya,
Waya,
Kaparwa,
Kaparwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Abadwa,
Abadwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Da'aiwa,
Da'aiwa,
Kayatha,
Kayata,
Shamka Yahawa,
Chaka Yahawa,
Labadka,
Labaka,
Ayawan,
Ayawan,
Alka,
Akal,
Haratazah.
Haratazah. Psalms 83 in English. Keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thou silence, O God,
Hold not thy peace,
hold not thy peace,
and be not still, O God.
and be not still, O God.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make a tumult,
thine enemies make a tumult,
and they that hate thee
and they that hate thee
have lifted up the head.
have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They
Have said,
Come,
Come,
let us cut them off from being a nation.
and let us cut them off from being a nation.
That the name of Israel
That the name of Israel
may be no more remembered.
Take
Maybe
me no more remembrance.
For they have consulted together
For they have consulted together
with one consent.
with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom
The tabernacles of Edom
and the Ishmaelites
and the Israelites
of Moab
of Moab
and the Hagarenes,
and
the Hagarenes,
Gabal
Gabal,
and Ammon
and Ammon,
and Amalek
and
and
Amalek,
the Philistines
the Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
the inhabitants of Tyre.
Ashur also is joined with them.
Assur also is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of Kisan,
At the brook of Kisan.
which perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as dung of the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Areb
Make their nobles like a red.
and like Zeeb.
And like Zeeb.
Yea,
Yea.
all their princes as Zabah
All their princes of Zabah.
and as Zamunah,
And as Amunah.
who said,
Who said,
let us take to ourselves
let us take to ourselves
houses of Yahweh in possession.
the houses of Yahweh in possession.
Oh my God,
Oh my God.
make them like a wheel,
Make them like a wheel.
as the stubble before the wind,
As the stubble before the wind.
as the fire burneth the wood,
As the fire burneth the wood.
and as the flame set the mountains on fire.
And as the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy tempest.
and make them afraid with thy storm.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame.
that they may seek thy name, O Lord.
They may see thy name, O Lord.
Let them be confounded and troubled forever.
Let them be confounded and troubled forever.
Yea,
Yea.
let them be put to shame and perish,
Let them be put to shame and perish.
that men may know that thou,
And men may know that thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
art the most high over all the earth.
art the most high of all the earth. All right, these are the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh.
Barakatha Yahweh.
Why Yahweh Shai?
Why Yahweh Shai?
Why Ma'aka Allah?
Why Malaika Allah?
Why Allahayo?
Why Alahaya?
Matazab Ya'ah.
Batazab Ya'ah.
Alawap Yahana.
Alawap Yahana.
Ha Alawapyo.
Ha Alawapyam.
Asaranyo.
Asaranya.
Akwata Zayanyo.
Akwata Zayanya.
Akaya Yoyo.
Akala Yaya.
Waha Gwatim.
Wahakwapim.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Hashem Yahweh Shai.
By Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Duwaraman.
The water Aman. Blessed in the English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yohana.
Commander General Yohana.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
Troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
The name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it. All right, with that, brother, you want to be anointed? All right. We'll have the brother come up, anointed with oil, blessing. Go ahead, you got it. All right, so we're going to read these prayers. Of course, we point to you. Say your name. We do that 3 times, all right?
Okay.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Sorry.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Barak Yahweh.
Wayashamarka.
Washamarka.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Yar Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Ayaka.
Ayaka.
Wayakanka.
Wayakanka.
Yasha'ar Yahweh.
Yashai Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Ayaka.
Ayaka.
Wayashamlaka.
Wayashanaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahasham.
Ba'ashem.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Magun.
Magun.
Hagun.
Hagun.
Kabadama.
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 Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
Duwaraman.
The water Aman.
All right. What we said in the English was, Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift his countenance, like lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless, heal, shield, protect. Kabadamav. You can find that prayer numbers, the 6th chapter, verses 22 through 27. All right. With that, we go ahead and close out the class. Come right here. I'm going to close out this Sabbath service. Men of Israel, Imagine, which means to stand. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Brakatham.
Yahya Matzah. Sabbath service is me.